Time where we wonder if sound is working,
yes.
But that's not that is the nature of this beast. Hi, you're watching the Saving Throw Show. This is our regular Phoenix Dawn Command game. I hope you've stuck around since our fantastic Dark Sun game. It was really good this week and will be good subsequent weeks. Check that out. This is Phoenix Dawn Command, which is a game in which all of these characters here are playing Phoenix, which are sort of resurrected humans with superpowers, and they level up by dying. So if you've never watched the game before, that's how you level up. You can only die 7 times. To answer the inevitable questions we get in the chat room, there's certainly nothing that's stopping you from committing suicide, but you can only die 7 times. And then you basically, the flames of the Phoenix can't hold your soul anymore and you fall off into the afterlife. And also, dying means you go back to the Imperial Flame the next morning, which is normally 8 or 9 hours after shit's gone down. So no, death is not exactly like, death is not great, but it's still how you level up. Yeah. So all of the Phoenixes that are at this table right now are rank 4 Phoenixes, which means they have died 3 times in addition to their initial death. So remember, they were all regular everyday people, or not, I mean, regular everyday hunters and criminals and children and whatever, and researchers. But they were all regular. They were all mortal, sorta. And then they died, and they became the characters you see here before you. I'll let everyone introduce themselves and their characters, and then we'll get into today's game. So we'll start with you, Mac.
Hey, I am Mac Beauvais. I am an actor, a writer, everything. I do stuff. But what the stuff I'm doing right now is I am playing Varya, who's from the Bitter School, who is slowly but surely becoming a giant werewolf every time she dies.
Easy enough.
I'm Robert Chan, a writer and a podcaster, and Eerie, coming back this time, I feel like he still looks like like one of those little J-horror kids from from the movies, creepy little white skin, dark hair. But I feel like now, like anytime he rubs up against something or is touched by something, it's just kind of like stretches in a weird way, just like interacts with the world in sort of a really strange way, just an unpleasant kind of.
An extra little cherry on the.
Should point out that with Chan's cold, he said J-horror, not J-horror.
No, I said J-horror. I don't know what that is,
one
but
of those J-horror kids.
I'm gonna Google it real quick.
No, don't do that.
Urban Dictionary that. All right, Tara.
Hi, I'm Tara, actress, variety performer, early wave cosplayer, and such as many of us. I think at rank 4, Idalia her skin's definitely blue now and just kind of maybe shimmery. Her hair is about as gold as it is purple now, and a little bit even more independently floaty. Her armor, her kind of gold cage armor, has a little bit of a glow to it now, and she still like walks and stuff, but I think her resting state is a bit of a hover. So, yeah.
Very cool.
Getting floaty.
I'm Michael Holmes. I'm a creative type armed with a plastic pumpkin and a bitchin' Halloween mix. I live spooky and I play spooky. I play Ink, the Shrouded, who at rank 4 is basically nothing more than a cloak made up of a ever-changing tapestry of words. And He sneaks and he knows things.
All right. So as you've probably guessed from the descriptions of the characters, every time a phoenix comes back, they come back a little more like whatever they're becoming. I would say true self, but that one feels too frou-frou for me and also is not necessarily true. Whatever it is you're reflected, whatever your phoenix is a reflection of is what you're heading towards, be it your true self or something else. And so as they go on, they get more and more monstrous from their initial sort of human form, although this wing is particularly monstrous for whatever reason. So, when last we left you guys, you had participated in, and I'm always going to forget the name of the city for reasons I don't understand. You participated in the siege in saving Torika, a town, a major city, from a chant outbreak, where you were introduced with a bunch of other devoted phoenixes to try and help the population at certain sort of like refugee stations. You behaved yourself, where you were sent on a special mission with a bunch of other Forcefuls to sort of do like a designated strike, and basically you were one of many who ran in to try and get the shard that they knew that the marshals now know are the cause of these infections. So they basically ran a bunch of Forcefuls and the occasional elemental into the center of town, like forced your way all the way through all of the different chanters, and basically assaulted the center of the infection, where you and a bunch of others died, but in the process you managed to get to the shard and cleanse it. So you actually turned off the infection. But the two of you and some other phoenixes were introduced into the refugees that were exiting the city, where you were told that they thought maybe someone had deliberately caused the problem, and that you should engage with them and try and figure out where they were from. And you did manage to catch up with them, but unfortunately they essentially committed suicide by activating a bunch of shards in the refugee line, which forced you to fight a chant outbreak there, which you eventually cleansed. And you were able to get more shards than ever they have before, which is really fantastic, and also get some confirmation that there is a deliberate and terrible force bringing chant shards into populated areas and setting them off. So,
and also Ink sacrificed himself to burn out a chant shard. Just in case you weren't watching.
Not forget.
Yes.
There was a lot more fighting to be done.
Oh, and before I tell you the rest of the story, those of you at home, remember you can donate, of course, to this stream. You can donate for. Man, do I have the wrong donations on? I think I do. You can, if you go to the donations page, one of the mods will tell you where that is. You can make donations either with your XP, which you get from watching, or with cash. You can only make flare donations with cash. Flares are the abilities that are either big positive combat abilities or big negative social abilities that these guys all have. And with any hope, the right ones are on. If not, I might take a little break while you guys catch up. But let me continue setting the stage here. So the reclamation of this town was a success. You stopped a chant outbreak in mid-outbreak, like for the first time ever. You didn't have to leave a city to sort of rot. This is sort of the second big win in a row of the Dawn Command versus the Dread. So the spirits are very high. And you, of course, return as heroes in many ways, although parts of much larger groups of heroes, to Pyre. So in Pyre, weirdly, it is surprisingly sparse, as Phoenix wings are distributed out amongst the entirety of the globe, sort of dealing with problems, but also turning these two cities, the one that you reclaimed that was a former chant outbreak and the one that you just saved, sort of putting them all back together. And also kind of going out there and just showing themselves off, being like, hey, we're Phoenixes and we exist and it's cool. As you know, the Phoenix PR is not what it could be. Even a lot of the attendants that you would normally see running around on Pyre have been sort of shipped off to add to the manpower in these various cities. So things are relatively quiet here. In fact, for a while, the only two wings that are in the city are your wing, all six of you, and all six of the wing from which you guys borrowed Feral. So Feral, Braid, I think Keeganis is on that wing, are all there. And there's a little bit of time for you guys to sort of, rub elbows with them. And then eventually, you get summoned into the Council of Marshals again. You've all had time to sort of accept the new physical forms of each other. This time it's just Cinder and it's either Cinder or Ember. We're going to say it's Cinder today. It's just Cinder and
I think it's Ember.
Okay, it's just Ember. Ember and Winter. The rest of the marshals are not there, and you're sort of brought into a little antechamber right off the sort of main section of the Imperial Pyre, and Winter sort of sits down with you. All right. Well, I think we can all certainly say that your wing has had some very unusual experiences, and we've put you in unusual places, and you two have put us in unusual positions. One of the more interesting wing experiences that we've had in the few hundred years that the Dawn Command has been present in the world. So we decided if we're going to do anything crazy and experimental, you guys might as well be the ones we do it with. I don't know how much you know about your crucibles, but you know that when you're pulled into the dawn energy and sort of shown the lessons that help to empower you as Phoenix, as distressing as they are for many, you're sort of held out of time. So many of you might remember that your crucibles either seemed longer, or you might have felt that your crucibles seemed longer than the time you were away, especially in your most recent deaths where you've come back the next dawn. I would say 90%, most Phoenixes do not feel like their crucibles in their later ranks are a day. They feel like they're at least a few weeks, some much longer, some exceptionally longer. What is not entirely clear, I think, to Phoenixes, but is true, is that your Phoenix does take as long as it feels, because it exists outside of time. So this isn't a perceptive problem. This is actual true reality. If you are in your crucible for a week, you existed there for a week. And that's because the time in which you are traveling through your crucible sort of bisects the actual flow of time. And then you sort of re-enter time in another stage, which got us thinking that this might be possible to, by way of your crucible, force you to re-enter our plane of existence, our timeline, at a new time. Now, this, I wish I could somehow find a way for Winter to know about Quantum Leap, but she doesn't.
Wait, no.
I think we've got so many.
In my latest crucible, I studied the works of Dr. Samuel Beckett, who believed that one.
Believes that there's no exit.
That said, this ability to jump through time will need to be exclusively within the timeline of one of your own lives, so to speak, which means we'll need to transit you from now, our present, to a time between now and one of your first deaths. And it would have to be in a situation or area specific to that death, or specific to that death, because you'll only have a limited amount of autonomy in this new time. Now, that's a lot to throw at you all at once. I'm actually going to turn it over to one of your own members to talk a little bit about his most recent crucibles, as Eerie and I spoke after he returned recently, and some of the things that he had to talk to me about were particularly interesting based on some rumors we've been hearing from the area from which Eerie was originally from. So if you'd like now, Eerie, to tell them a little bit about your recent crucibles, that may enlighten you.
So the last 1,000 years sucked. I found the man who killed my mother. I found what he was doing. I found the root of my distaste for the fallen and dealing the fallen take on the aspect of humans in a very broad way, but it appears that some of them are trying to take it further and have, in some places, learned to supplant the human forms that were there previously. You mentioned something about this. You called them body snatchers.
Yes. There was an invasion.
I found, as I was tracking the person who was responsible for my death, I became friends with a young boy, and it turns out that he was indeed one of the fallen. And the last thing I remember was the
I think we need to reboot Eerie.
Would you like a hug? I would love to give you a hug.
I don't think that's a wise idea.
One of these days.
the faces. All I can remember are the faces. All of them look human, and behind them there is nothing but dread.
Winter, obviously this task is no mean feat, and I only hope that we're up to it.
Well, as Eerie suggested, we think that fallen or agents of the fallen have been mingling with the population of his home city. We feel like this infestation was at a manageable stage, something we're learning about a lot, at the time of Eerie's first death. And we believe it might be possible to nip it in the bud now. Now, because the fallen, as spirits and sort of tangential agents of the dread themselves, exist in a way outside of time, we believe it should be safe to send you back to try and solve this puzzle before it even starts. And also, you should feel comfortable taking out your actions upon the fallen that you find there. We believe that any fallen that you are able to destroy, there won't be any tangential effects in meddling with the past because of the nature of the fallen's existence in reality. So what we're going to do is, Eerie first, we'll ask you to step into the Imperial Flame, and Ember will use his ash magic to create a way for you to exit at the Eerie, at the Eerie in Eerie's hometown. But you'll be exiting just days after Eerie's first death, which should allow you to get right on the trail of the persons responsible and track them back to the fallen or fallen agents responsible who you are to take out. The magic can only keep you there for a limited amount of time. We don't know how much, several days, a week, probably no more, probably no less. As an interesting effect of being forced back in time in this way, because your bodies are essentially going to be dawn energy projections at that time, if you're wounded, you can spend 4 sparks. I'm sure that Winter says this in a way that is not a game mechanic. If you're wounded, you can spend 4 sparks to basically push yourself back to an earlier incarnation of yourself in time and remove a wound. So, but you won't be healed by the dawn while you're there because you're not currently existing in that time. If you die, or at the end of a certain number of days, or if you return to any flame, you'll come back to this time.
I don't mean to seem insubordinate, but I've read extensively on the nature of time, and far be it from me to decry the wisdom of the marshals, but are you certain about all this?
After a long discussion, we've determined that if this does have any lasting effects on our current present, that we've already sent you there and it already has. So by that logic, we assume that this must be safe. as we are willing to undertake it and about to undertake it, and yet we see no perceptive changes. That may not be the best logic we can work with, but we live in a magical time.
I only hope that our next leap shall be the leap home.
Boom! got it in there.
Oh boy.
I hate
You've been watching Phoenix Dawn Command. Apparently, I usually monitor the chat room myself on my phone, but I think whatever way I'm able to do that has broken, because I can see that we're active, but I can't see anyone in chat. Just one person chatting.
Yeah, like as we started.
Yeah, I think the actual chat engine might be down, because we definitely have viewers, which is kind of interesting. Give me 1 second, folks at home, as I'm going to. Oh wait, just get someone there.
Somebody else, yeah. Badness. Braid.
Yeah.
Braid.
Hey, Braid. Everything working
Braid.
out in there? Because normally we'd see at least like general motion in the chat room.
We're breaking
And-
the space-time continuum. Yeah.
Well, they're like this.
Actually, why don't I double check real quick,
All right.
and you guys can talk more about things. Hey, I know you want to plug, Mac.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be on another saving throw show that doesn't have a name yet. I'm sure you guys will be really excited to see my stupid face another night of the week.
Oh, sure.
But on Wednesday evenings at 7:30, I'm going to be joining a Harry Potter themed Pathfinder engine run game that Talene is actually heading up. So I'm super excited about that. I haven't actually played on the Pathfinder engine. I know it's a modified version of it, but I'm really looking forward to jumping in and giving it a go, and also putting all of my Harry Potter know-how to the test, because I love Harry Potter.
Yeah.
You're a wizard, Varya.
Yep. Is my mic off?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, that's even better. I'm plugging a thing you probably heard like half of, but I'm loud. I'm trying to be Sax when I grow up.
Also, your hair looks nice though. So
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So mainly.
It's freshly gingered.
So what's everyone's houses then?
You might appreciate this because we
Hufflepuff.
have these
Really?
Yeah.
My husband's sort of a
napkins we
Hufflepuff,
got from
sort of by
somewhere.
choice,
Yeah.
sort of by.
and I was
he's
just
sort of
looking at it. I was like,
shifting
"What the?
I don't
this
know
is
what my
total garbage."
Patronus is, and I don't care.
That I have not figured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Hermione Granger's
Gryffindor.
signature would be crappier than
Hermione's
any of the Weasleys.
signature would be flawless.
Exactly. I mean, can't believe that these people are
how did I
doing
not turn
such
on my mic? I'm usually
garbage,
so good about
merchandising.
Oh.
I don't know at all.
I don't know. Have people been able to hear me up
Yeah,
till now?
no.
I'm pretty.
Really, they have.
I mean, I'm pretty loud.
And Luna Lovegood's a little bit straightforward. For
Yeah.
I hate
Yeah,
that.
that's bullshit.
Everything about that is stupid.
Like your job, man. Your job is
Yeah,
to.
Hermione's would be amazing. Her penmanship must be
It'd be like
flawless.
freaking John Hancock.
And you put
Yeah.
it right at the top, so obviously that's the first thing you go to. How would
Yeah.
you not? Ugh.
Good call.
All right, we're
I
back.
will not be signing things during our stream on Wednesdays. I don't know what's happening anymore.
Mac is not going to give any autographs out during the stream, but if you catch her outside of the stream, maybe.
No, never, ever.
Outside of the stream of
All
time.
right, so we're back up and running now. It was definitely misbehaving, which is interesting, but it's better now.
Yay.
And you can also make your regular donations now, which is good because
Donations are good, and they make the game really fun for us and for you.
Make me everywhere and nowhere, or whatever
Yes.
the bad one is.
Make me attack other
all
people
time and no
randomly.
time, I think.
All time and no time, yes.
That was pretty fun.
That was pretty
And that was only when we were in a locked room, so
yeah.
there was only one person to attack.
God only knows.
Could
out
have
in
gone
the world.
crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, now they can allow you. I mean, to be clear, the marshals feel like you should only harm those that are affected by or are themselves the fallen. They think that's safe. So don't kill any mortals in the past if you can possibly avoid it. Certainly nobody's grandparents.
You already said that what's done is done.
I know, right? It's hard. Those people are already dead.
What happens in past?
I already murdered them. It's fine.
Can I opt not to go, since obviously it's a success?
We think you of all the Phoenixes here should be the most interested in going, as you are already displaced from time.
You can understand my misgivings then. What if I never come back?
Well, you'll come back and be there simultaneously. How fortuitous for us.
It'll be fun. Come on.
Indeed.
I feel like Ink will not leave his wing alone. All right, so they sort of usher you to the Imperial Flame. and they, and Ember does a very complex, it takes a very long time pouring out these vials of ash, and it, creates, the fire, changes colors and has sort of strange odors coming off it, and it burns much hotter and then much cooler, and then they eventually sort of usher you in.
This better not take another 1,000 years.
Well, there is a brief moment, weirdly, that all of you experience, but for you is quite terrifying, where you sort of are back in the very beginning of a crucible for you, where you're at the murder scene temporarily. None of you are really able to make it out, but you know exactly where it is because you've been there before, several thousand years of time. But it very quickly fades away to you exiting the Eerie in your town. So, and then all of you join him. The Flamekeeper there is confused as to why you're present. Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't get any candles that said you'd be heading this way. Yeah, sorry, I haven't prepared anything. All we have are the regular weapon racks. Is there anything else that...
Those will be fine.
We're on a rather delicate mission from the marshals.
It's a surprise to us as well, so do not feel ashamed.
All right.
Grab his face.
Yes, the face grabbing, I
Stare
forgot.
at
The
him.
calming just like, it's cool.
No, I do that.
Oh,
The
that's not
much
calming.
less calming version.
Not as calming.
Yeah.
All right.
Opposite of calming.
Then I go in for the face grab to kind of negate that whole
Yeah.
situation.
Net gain 0. He's not weirded out, but he's also not happy about it. So they're in your territory now. So where do you want to take this in terms of getting on the tails of the investigation?
They began taking over the criminal element in this town, so I suppose the best place to start is the bad places.
Tavern it is.
Do you want to lead them to a particularly? I'm assuming that you, in your thousands of years, feel like you've developed some contacts here. Do you want to bring them to a particular place?
There's a sort of brothel for very, very young children. That seems to be where the I mean, if there's going to be bad people, that's that's a good place to start.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make a lot of noise. I need a Twix after hearing.
Don't kill any mortals, guys. All right, so you head
Can't
to.
scare them. Thank you.
That's true. It does not mean that. This is a little. This is earlier. Here, pass them on. This is earlier enough
Here,
that.
you're the only one. Let's see if you can catch.
Good job, everybody. Yo,
I'm really glad we're back in time now.
one over there. Try not to hit the camera. Oh,
She didn't hit the camera.
that's true.
But you didn't
Maybe
catch
the
it
problem
either.
is you. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
I throw too awesome for you guys.
Maybe.
That's it. That's it exactly.
They all went to the right places. It wasn't like it flew into the wall.
Totally.
I've only had a beer and a half. I'm cool. What's up?
Have you plugged Das Horn yet?
No.
Oh.
This
Das
show,
Horn.
my drinking brought to you by Das Horn. You can buy it from fine retailers everywhere, namely Think Geek.
And it comes with a shoulder mount or something.
Oh, it comes
Shoulder
with a
mount.
neck strap for when you're really drunk and you just want to have a horn hanging around your neck as you stagger across Oktoberfest.
Sounds great.
The only problem is when you get down to about here, you get weird liquid splashback if you're not careful. It goes splop. It's just the front row will get wet during the show.
It's mollier that way.
So you head off to this sort of terrible crime den, and there's this part of the city, the sort of underbelly of the city, is particularly scuzzy. There isn't a lot of law presence here at all. There isn't a lot of moral presence here at all. Most people sort of that live in this area of the city are poor and don't have much say about it. These sort of houses of ill repute of various types are all over this part of the city. The city was built on the like sort of bones of a previous city, and then again and again. So like the city has a sort of layered strata where the poorer you are, the sort of closer to the original city foundations you are, and then the newer city is sort of built on top of that. These people are particularly old people, and so there's a lot of culture going on. But this area here is mostly just dedicated to vice. So what are you looking for in this area?
I don't know. The only person I know for certain is my friend, Karios.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they look like. I don't know how to find them.
There's no way to sense what a hidden fallen is like in any way,
I'd like
except to know.
If anyone can, you can.
Wait, me?
This is not my area of expertise.
All right.
I'd kind of like to make a general observation spread, just to
Sure.
kind of see comings and goings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's 5 for Master of Intrigue, 5 for Heightened Awareness now, and that puts me at 17 all told.
Okay. You're learned enough, especially with like even like spycraft sort of style, that you recognize like the comings and goings of basic criminal elements too. People are making drops. People are sort of exchanging, handshakes with stuff in them, and
I
like
find a nice awning to kind of just fade into.
as often happens, you fade in pretty easy. Even you, because your fur is relatively dark. As long as you're not like moving around and glinting your teeth at people, but then you're like
What
a
else did I
glowing
do
golden
with
god, and you're like, but people, while phoenixes are uncommon here, people are sort of trained to look down. Like no one wants to engage with anyone, especially not anyone doing something shady here. Because if you are the rare example of the law, they don't want to bump into you.
Right.
So, but there's definitely, you can see patterns, and you feel like you could probably follow a couple of the sort of mid-level criminals back to like a higher echelon, to some sort of home base.
That one.
Do you want to do anything before anyone else want to do anything before we leave?
I'm not sure I can do anything unless the fallen smell particularly different.
I think if we're actually among like, child slaves and stuff, especially Idalia having like been a mother, and I think she just tries to send some sort of like peace to them. That's about it. Because like I think she's trying to avoid it. Like, this is really
Not a
rough.
good idea. That's not a good idea at all.
Why not?
People who are at peace down here don't last long.
Just some comfort to get them through this.
You might want to come back once you return to the present. You'll be able to take care of this in a much more aggressive way.
I'm coming back to this place. That's all I know.
See, what we do is we mark people in the past, so when we return to the present, we can find them easier.
I mean, I'm not going to stop you. All right.
Bring them a nice warm meal, something later. Yes, okay.
Mac, do you want to do anything before you head on?
I don't think there's much to do.
All right.
A werewolf walking around the undercity of a town, like whatever.
So I would say also a fair amount of people, especially because you wear your mask, a fair amount of people who do see you assume that you're sort of like a fallen and the retinue of a fallen, and that when you don't approach them about a deal, which is the common, fallen are all about making deals. When no deal is presented, then they just assume you're not there for them. So like you can see people who go like, kind of give you guys a once over and like, oh, okay, I guess it's not my time. But they're like, as a cultural element, they're all very sure that like Fallen will bump into them on their travels and be like, I'll take your arm for this really tasty banana. And like, no, why does no one take that one? And so you follow this criminal for some distance, and you reach what seems to be some sort of, general way station of criminals, and you can see people going in and out, like sort of making runs.
Well, I mean, it's early on, but should I try to see if I can suss them out somehow?
This is usually the point where I'll kill one of them. Start over again. Kill another one.
Let's find out who to kill.
Start over again. Kill another one.
We were given a mandate not to kill anyone.
Well, you
No innocent.
do things your way, to the mind.
I mean, how well connected is everyone here? Is there a chance that if we try and interrogate one, and I say that loosely, that they'll be able to help point us in the right direction?
I don't know how far it's spread. I don't know how good they are at hiding themselves. We could have one or none, or all of them here has fallen.
I think I'd like to try to see if I can sense that out.
Okay. Make a spirit spread. This is either intellect or grace, I believe.
True.
Or both.
All right. I'm gonna do a bit of both with let's see. I'm gonna use this. Okay, so first I'm adding the intuitive card, which adds 5 to the skill spread. And this is also 5 spirits, so that's 10. And I draw another card. And I'm gonna go whole hog. That's 8 for 18 plus anything that gets me.
Okay, you like imagine almost like sort of like predator vision, right? So you're sort of connected to the world of spirits and magic, but you can basically like force yourself to like filter the way you perceive in different ways.
Infrared.
Yeah, so you're sort of like, okay, I'm looking at, where's dawn energy here? Where's this? Where's that? And eventually, you're sort of walking people in and out of this building, and eventually you're sort of like shifting through like the various planes of existence that you can see, and you can see like sort of an energy mockery of a mask on this one person's face. And so they're not it's like a comedian mask. It's like like very like suggestive of a face, but it's not a face, and it's hovering over their face. And this person sort of goes in and does dealings in this house, and you can and then they come back out and they still have it, and they sort of head off. And if you watch long enough, and you can see that there are like 1 in every 5 or 6 people will have this sort of strange mask over their face. And now at this point you can turn it on, turn it off. You can like choose to perceive this or not perceive this at any time.
All right. So those two are interesting. How should we approach them?
Well,
Like
they are
this.
the criminal element.
I-
We're on the same track here.
Can one of us pass himself off as someone who might have
run
feelings?
up and
Yeah, he's
just stab him in the back.
All right.
Not to kill him, just
Okay.
stab him in the back.
just to get his
Non-fatal.
attention.
Apparently shanking.
It's a love shank.
Go ahead and make a relatively small attack spread. Change in the past. Change in the past. No.
Did you ever see that movie Millennium, by the way, with Chris Christopherson?
I did.
Terrible.
The one like they
anti-clone.
save a plane and it's just very confusing. Why
For some
they-
reason, the future is trying to repopulate by stealing people from planes in the past that historically had crashed. But what they do is they take the live people from the plane and replace them with cadavers.
Okay.
No thanks.
And Chris Christopherson is there also. And actually Scott Thompson from Kids in the Hall.
Really?
Yeah, he has no lines, but
Wow.
yeah,
He's a cadaver.
he's the time gate operator's friend.
Interesting.
That's how he's credited.
Okay then.
I love him.
All right.
So 10, one of more emotion and then terrifying to the idea is to just spook him and get him to run.
All right. Well, you definitely are on him before he knows anything's happening because you're moving at superhuman speed. You stab him in the back. What was the total there?
10?
10.
Or I guess 13.
13. All right. I'm going to say that like the level of cards you're using, the high number represents a high amount of control over the action you're taking, and because that's definitely enough to kill like several mortals. But you so you dodge in and just sort of like put the blade of your talon like exactly into him in a way that isn't going to kill him, but is definitely going to make him unhappy. And so you stab. And then do you just sort of like let yourself be seen by him when he turns around to see what's going on?
Yeah, I was using the terrifying as sort of
Okay. Well, he sees you, and you see like the contradiction where like part of him, like clearly the man's face is like terrified, but the mask isn't, and you can see him sort of like he's like trying to pull away, and it almost feels like the mask is trying to sort of move in its own directions, and eventually either he or the mask wins out, but one of them, and it turns, and he turns, it turns, the mask follows it around, and they both run off sort of down an alleyway. He drops everything he's got and just sort of like books.
I'm assuming we're going to chase him now. All right, I guess I'm gonna take off.
After you, Varya.
You can easily catch a mortal on foot. Do you want to catch him, or do you want to like stay far enough behind him that he continues to lead you somewhere?
I'm gonna follow.
Okay. If you want, you can make a grace spread to follow silently, which is relatively easy for you as you are mostly a wolf.
I'm following her a couple paces behind.
Yeah, you don't have to make a check to
How high
like,
you
go
want
silently.
me to hit here?
Just 10. Boom.
Look at that.
All right.
That's all the grace I have for the rest of today.
And how? All right, so you can draw back up because it's not a not a combat round. So, and do you follow them both? I'm assuming you follow as well.
Yeah.
As long as you're not like within 2 of him, you don't need to worry about hiding yourself because you're far enough back. So you're following them. If you get closer, you'll have to make checks to stay hidden. All right, so after some time, he runs into an even older building than you've seen. This building has particularly old architecture. It sort of feels like one of the very earliest buildings on maybe this level of the city. And he goes sort of in the door. The doors are sort of like an ornate arch. And there's like long columns, and he sort of goes running in and sort of, turns a corner into the darkness. Do you want to follow? Mm-hmm. Okay. Everyone goes along? All right. So this building, he goes in, and there's like a sort of, in the middle of the building, there's a big hole in the foundation, or in like this floor. And there's sort of scaffolding set up there that goes down even lower. And so he runs down that scaffolding and runs further and further down, and he's going deeper and deeper into the city, well lower than this layer of sort of historical construction.
Could he be taking us into a trap?
Can I do a lore spread, maybe? Would that be useful here?
I don't know if he would have had time to set up a trap for us.
That's a good
We
point.
spooked him and we're chasing him now.
You can do a lore spread.
Okay.
Might have him set up.
You use smartest person in the room, so that gives me +5. I can do 9 all told, using that as an intellect card. Just kind of, thinking historically, kind of what this area was like.
This might be moving past like the layered sort of Neapolitan ice cream history of the city into actual archaeology.
Wow. Okay.
You're traveling even further back. These people have been around for many, many generations. One of the oldest cultures, and there's even suggestion that there was a culture there before them that may have had sort of ancient cities where your people built. Are you both from there? No, are you?
No, I'm
No, we're
alone
both
in.
from
Yeah. It was. Oh, it's Kelvin, who's also from here. But whether or not the people built their cities on the bones of the cities of the ancestor sites originally, because that's just sort of how your culture works. You just keep building up in the same location. So you're definitely going further and further down. But you can also see stuff that it looks like it is Proto-Pyrean sort of in language. So there's a chance that like there's sort of a shared history here with the original Dawn Command.
Okay. Ink is just fascinated by all this. I have a very uneasy feeling about this, but wow.
And could he actually be taking us to the source of what we need to see? That would be miraculous.
They're
Indeed.
talking, I'm just following. I don't care about any of this.
Do you understand what this is? This belongs in some sort of museum.
Street
for the future.
3 quotes and this only this far. It's
I
pretty
know,
good.
and it's not even 6 yet.
All right, so you manage to sort of follow along some distance, and basically the scaffolding gives way, and it's sort of like a cave system, but it's clearly been like excavated by hand. And there's definitely a building down there of some sort of even more ancient make. And he goes running into it, but there's a long distance of sort of like this is just an empty cave, and then when he gets closer to the building, you can see like there's like torches there and like signs of civilization. There's sort of equipment outside, and you basically like it looks like someone has like this is clearly an active site. So, do you want to run into the building after him, or do you want to
Wait, I think we should consider our
I feel like
actions before
before he makes it to the building, I'm gonna dart out and slit his throat and just kill him.
Or that.
go ahead and make an attack spread?
Also that.
I think we...
No questioning
Never
him
mind.
or anything. No.
Never
All right.
mind.
There's a problem when the guy who disagrees with the general policy is the one who has super speed.
Yeah. I think we should question. Okay. All right.
Flash is always killing people on the Justice League. I was like, don't kill the joke. Oh, too late. Sorry.
Yeah.
You silly Flash. What?
Eerie never has any bubble gum.
And I have all of the bubble gum. And none of the bubble gum.
Ooh. Is there
I have
another one
bubble
of
gum,
these
but I'm
down there
not
somewhere?
sharing.
What was that?
It's on the bottom.
Yeah, I think
Oh.
it's time.
You're going to have to grab one because I can't open
Yes.
it.
Oh, to manipulate.
Something else of a beer-shaped nature would be awesome.
I can do that.
I'm gonna go.
Beer-Shaped Nature, starring Mac Beauvais. Coming to Lifetime this fall.
With the talon, that's 10.
But
Okay.
it's
Sure,
a
why
counter
not?
subcon.
10's fine because now you
mix
intend
it
to
up
kill
for
him. So you
I can
easily
go with that.
put him down for 10.
Then I just drag his body off into the shadows.
You pull out uno mas. Uno mas.
Same thing. Well,
You
Whatever.
Cerveza, por favor.
Wait, you wanna-
You see the like spectral mask in your sort of spirit vision, just sort of like whisk up into the ethos and like ether after he kills him.
get it. Damn. All right. Okay.
I want to go examine the body. And specifically, I want to use psychometry on the body.
All right, give it to me. Okay, so you touch the body, and instantly there's a presence in your head. You shouldn't be here.
Where am I?
It's your voice, by the way.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, Jesus.
it's your voice. It's not your current exterior voice that has like the rest of the cast whispering behind it. It's just your voice.
Right, exactly.
You shouldn't be here.
Where is here?
Well, you know where you are. You're in the cave.
Right.
But you shouldn't be here now. This wasn't foreseen. By the way, you can see him, the mask in front of him while he's like touching the body.
Yeah.
And you see, like, whatever this is holding you away from perceiving the area that it's in. But you see, like, a masked face, like, sort of moving and laughing, like, sort of as you move around. It's, like, in your perception.
Right.
And it very much is like a comedian mask, so it's, like white and...
It's comedy and then it's tragedy.
Yeah.
And then it's, yeah.
But it's moving, too, which is always nice and creepy. Although, I think I'm thinking specifically of, like, old, bad claymation versions of those masks. Where,
like
The Mark Twain
the Mark
thing.
Twain one, yeah.
Yeah, where it's the devil and it's like,
Oh my
hello,
God, yeah.
children. Blah.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
what is
Yeah,
happening?
I actually think this is the sentences I'm about to say. I actually think the real version of that would be less scary. What?
I agree.
I
totally agree.
No, but I feel like the real terrible moving comedian mask would not be animated so poorly.
What's your
Like,
name? Satan.
I feel like real magic is actually easier to do than animation in 1970.
Thanks, Will Vinton. Who are you? What do you want? And that's my wife asking the same thing.
Don't worry about me. You should worry about all the strings you've just cut. Everything's all about strings. Tying one to another. Tying us and binding us together. Manipulating one. Pulling a thread. Pulling one limb against another, pulling one block out of place.
No. I can see the pattern. We're not interfering yet.
Oh God, string theory.
They could be trying to trick us.
I'm Einstein. No, it's
I was going to quote
Yeah.
Einstein before we got sent back in time.
not all these strings might be yours. Some of these strings are mine. Now, kindly get out of my head.
Falls back, and for a moment he kind of blinks into reality, and then kind of goes back to cloak form. Not sure what we're dealing with here, but I think there's going to be repercussions that the marshals weren't prepared for.
No, and if he says string and where they're connected, maybe more of them know that we're here.
I think it's very likely.
You want to go into the building, or do you want to leave?
I think we have to go in the building.
Building.
Where else are we gonna go?
Okay.
Wait however many years it is. We'll just walk back to the...
A week from now, you'll just come back
Look,
to
you
the
can't
fire.
keep waiting for the leap home, okay?
I should have found a way to involve an owl character. Like, you're only a guide in this
Ink.
journey.
The marshals say there's a 75% chance you're here to, I don't know, kill Eerie. I don't know.
We'll send Fade back through time to explain what's going on.
Caters, where are you? Anyway, sorry.
All right, so you headed towards the building. You can all see kind of in the dark, as sort of just being phoenixes. Mac can
hello.
definitely see in the dark. So
I am the dog.
yeah.
I am the knight.
So you're but once you get to the building, you can see there are torches lit there, and there are crates of both sort of like, I guess, archaeological gear, like picks and shovels and whatnot, but also crates of food. But some of the food is spoiled, and some of the crates of food are new. And a short time in, and it's like sort of large, it's more still arched architecture, sort of fits a little bit with the building you were in before, and there are clearly sort of rooms and sort of antechambers in here, but there are no full walls. Like everything is just different sort of like archways. Like these 4 columns lock off this area, and you can see sort of like incredibly dusty, like decrepit, stones and masonry fallen on them, like sort of sitting. Like there was a furniture set of some sort here or something. Like there were the basic tables, but there are no actual walls, and the structure sort of angles down into the rock. And after a while, you find a couple of bodies, which are in various states of decay. And you can do something with them if you want to. Otherwise, you can continue on.
What are they looking for?
Not sure.
I guess we should see if these bodies are human or fallen.
I'm not touching them.
I'll get in there. All right.
I mean, I have to ask the question though. Do the fallen and the humans smell different from each other?
Okay, fallen that are actual fallen don't have any scent at all because they
Okay.
don't exist. Like, they're fallen are like sort of spiritual projections, so they don't have any bodies.
Okay.
Fallen that are like controlling a human would smell like a human.
That's not helpful.
No.
All right. I'm going to see if I can sense anything
All right.
from them.
Maybe it's just because I've been watching like nonstop Luke Cage, but I feel like your character is very Claire Temple, and I don't know why.
Oh, see, I haven't seen it. I'm behind in my Marvels.
Yeah, right.
Oh, really?
They really turn up the gas on the character because she basically is just like, yeah, I want to make shit happen, and you're like, wow, Claire Temple, no longer the plot is moving you.
Also, I want to say that Nick Cage has my favorite credit sequence, I think, of any show I've ever seen.
Nick Cage does?
Luke Cage.
Yeah, that's a good sequence.
A,
Nick Cage.
B,
Yeah.
C, D.
This is my show.
Not the bees!
Although, has anybody done that mashup meme yet? That has to exist, right?
Where
the
we
Nick Cage
goes like
Luke
A, B, not the B. Oh no! Oh the Nick Cage.
Yeah. Netflix presents Nick
Hero
Cage.
for hire.
Yeah.
That'd be beautiful. And it's that picture of him going,
Well, he did. He literally took the name from
Yeah.
Luke Cage
Oh,
because
yeah,
he's a
yeah.
big comic fan. Because he was born Nick Coppola for anyone who doesn't
The
know.
deuce,
Coppola's
you
such a good
say.
name, too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, no, because he's Francis Ford Coppola's son,
Nephew.
nephew. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Just
wow.
like Jason Schwartzman.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Also? Wow.
He's somewhere.
Is Nick Cage's nephew?
No. Jason Schwartzman's somewhere in the Cobalt.
It's all nephews
Oh,
that
that's
from
right.
that
I
way
think
down.
you did
Yeah.
that. Okay. All right, just because of my lack of cards, I'm going to use Killer Instincts kind of literally because they're dead.
Okay. You always manage to find a way to make that go sideways. I think in this one we're just going to allow it.
Yeah, it is your misspent youth.
Yeah.
That's what I do. So that's a draw for me. And then I've got, I just kind of went nuts because I got nothing.
Yeah.
All right, so.
You're drawing anyway. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Is this a medicine roll, or is this what kind of roll is this?
I think this is spirits again because I'm sort of trying to sense anything metaphysical about them that I can tell. So that's 5. And does that give me a 5? And it's not necessarily. All right. So that's 13. Oh, you know what?
Here's the thing is, I will give
and
you.
actually-
I'll give you 5 for Killer Instincts if you're making a medicine check or a healing check to see
Okay.
like why they died or how long they've been dead.
That makes
If you're
total
going to make a
sense.
spirits check, then that's just a 1. But I'll still allow Killer Instincts to apply, but you won't get any bonus points.
It's gonna get me further. I think you know what? Okay, actually, let's do healing. That makes sense.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I don't need to bring a spark for that. Okay, so that becomes what?
That's 5, 10.
10, 18, and whatever. So.
And Thought Coil's on the other side if you want it to be, because they usually start orange and turn red.
Yeah.
If you want to use it, you don't have to.
Okay. Oh, I think this is good for these guys. So, all right. 18.
These people definitely died at different times. They're like months apart, maybe in terms of death. Although they're both relatively, they're both relatively decayed. I'll give you a little bit of a spirits roll in that, like, you can sense the sort of like leftover flavor of whatever that sort of mask energy is there on them. But they definitely died at different times, and excuse me. And you would say that at least one of the two of them, if not both of them, died from being like entirely used up or burned out. Like some
Their energy?
they ran themselves to death essentially. So it's like a combination of like physical energy, but also what little spark mortals have, they totally burned out.
Ew.
I understand now why you ended up the way you did.
Okay, so do you want to continue on?
I think we have to.
All right. You manage to sort of make it over, after a while, the descent gets steeper and steeper, but it seems intentional, as if this building was built on the side of something that was naturally inclined, because it's definitely there's definitely masonry bricks underneath you, and like the walls curve too, and then it's sort of, so imagine it's sort of like a, I guess sort of like a very artistically styled Z, in that like not Z, but like S, in that it kind of bends back down and then comes back out again. So like you flatten back out and you sort of reach the far wall, and there it seems like whatever was being worked to unearth this place is now being worked to sort of enhance this place. So you see like there's some like basic construction, people are sort of putting stuff together, and along the far wall you see a bunch of sort of bodies like with picks and shovels, like, cutting into the wall and trying to unearth more rooms, while other people are sort of walking back and forth. And there's this sort of eerie presence of some sort of energy. Yes. Eerie's also present.
Eerie's presents are there because it's Christmas! Yay!
I think season 2, you're going to have to pick another name that is like a word we use all the time. My character's cog is the.
Hey.
Yeah. So you, by the way, see that all these figures have these sort of mask shapes.
Okay. All of them suck, you guys. Just so you know. So.
And they're actively.
They're all in some stage of work. They also look significantly worse than the guy that you chased down here. Like, they look like they're less mortal or less alive.
I wonder if we could pick one of them off to question.
Are you gonna sort of hide back or sort of move forward towards them?
I would like that because they might be innocent and just being influenced by these masks.
Well, we found bodies upstairs that were human and were being used rather than transformed.
Maybe that's what is the end result of this use of this mask.
I'm going to burn 2 sparks and get smartest person in the room back in my hand.
You can do cool stuff, jeez.
You got a new trick.
Yeah.
I'm going to do another sort of observation spread and just kind of see what the fuck's going on here. See if I can
Okay.
see anything that she's not seeing with her god vision. So that's 5. Yeah, 5, 10, 15. Just without any other cards.
Is there a particular skill you're applying it to?
Observation.
Okay. You would say that there seems to be some driving energy, not unlike the chant. There seems to be some sort of overwhelming force that is sort of moving these bodies around. But it definitely doesn't have the sort of dread characteristics that you've seen before. It does feel like Fallen. The closest equivalent you might imagine is someone who made a deal with a Fallen that went poorly for them, and so sort of now they're doing, it's a very common story is like people who make a bad deal with a Fallen and then are forced to dance until they die, or are forced to, carry a heavy object forever or something.
I feel like the marshals didn't anticipate this. They were talking about Fallen, not humans being piloted by them.
I believe everybody in this room is not our concern. Whatever is controlling them lies outside this room. So unless we absolutely need to, I don't see any reason to engage any of these individuals.
You don't think there's a way that they could somehow lead us to it?
You don't think
That I'm
that
not so
whatever the
certain of.
force is deeper than this? Like, what are we going to do? Walk away and go back up to...
No.
Well, where do you
Take
want to
another
go?
guy.
Forward.
Which would be fun.
All right, well, some of us are maybe a little less subtle at sneaking forward through a room full of people.
Touche.
I think they might notice, Ink.
I can do the behind you.
Yeah, there's not any way I'm really going to be hiding very well here.
Unless...
Well, as long as we're here, there should be some way that we can engage with one of them to find out something.
I'm pretty sure she's also not going to be able to hide. She started glowing, if you hadn't noticed.
Okay, we're not hiding. Okay. All right, we've established.
Ink,
So.
sorry, Eerie, it's you or I. And would you rather I speak to one of them or you?
Does it
I
look like
only
there's
have
any we can
one.
pick off that are walking around that we can snag one away from the group?
Sure. I mean, they're on different sort of cycles or whatever, so it should be relatively easy for you to sort of grab one.
All right.
I think we should try and at least snag one. They may not give up anything, but at least we can try that first before we go running into this room.
It's a good plan, Varya.
I have them occasionally, Ink. Thank you.
All right, so I reckon that's what we'll do then.
Okay. You grab one. Well, somebody needs to make a grace check to grab them. It can be any of you, though.
Well, you're
What are we
probably
looking
you're
for?
fastest, but if your grace isn't
I
up
can
to
do
it,
10.
I can do a pretty decent grace.
10, I mean, yeah, these aren't, they're not resisting terribly.
Okay. So
Okay.
I do the cloaky cloak thing, and as one passes by me, I kind of
All right.
whip him around and put him in the middle of everybody.
I kind of want to talk. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, just once we have them, I want to see what I can get out of them.
Okay.
And then we murder.
Maybe murder. Absolutely.
Well, there's a moment where the sort of person has sort of startled by you, and you can sort of see that spectral mask sort of in your vision. But then that spectral mask sort of lands on the person's face, and all of you see the face become a sort of strange, pale alabaster mockery of one of these masks. And he says, "Ah, I thought I might have scared you off. Well, if it's time to play, then we'll play." And you hear tools fall down in the behind you as everyone turns around.
All right, can we at least snap his neck while we have him? Just a nice quick twist.
Sure.
Oh.
Do you want to
I
give?
was gonna
Just snap drop.
you guys.
Sorry.
Right.
Sorry.
So,
Not my fault.
All right.
Not my fault.
So at least
Like
now
Varya acts quickly, okay?
at least now we know we have to get to them immediately once we snag them.
All right. Would you say this is the start of combat?
It is.
I'm drawing 3 cards.
all right.
Yeah, go ahead and draw.
Oh, you have a new
I do.
thingy? Oh,
Yeah.
new power.
Man.
Handy.
All right.
Very
me-
fancy. I feel very lame with my 5 cards here now.
Yes, I know.
I know. Are we at rank 4? So we still just are 5, unless you're fancy like this guy.
Well, I because of one of my innate abilities, I draw 6. But now, because of heightened awareness, at the start of any combat, draw 3 cards.
Good God.
Nice. But all of you can draw it because if you spend any cards to get where you are today, you're fine. Give me 1 second here to just add 3 more environmental objects. Oh, let's see.
Depending on what environmental objects are in there, I might want to go first.
Certainly.
We'll let you have.
Smashy.
Yeah. We'll let you have the really gross ones. Don't worry.
Yes, tell that person that person is. We're well aware.
Uh-oh.
What are we doing?
No,
think
just
so.
the two donations that were made a few sessions ago that didn't come through in time. We do know, and we have been told. Also, any of you at home, remember you can donate to either make combat easier, or you can donate to give them redraws, which is super helpful. You can get redraws or add environmental objects with experience points. You can go to the donations tab to learn about that, or you can spend cash on flares, which do things like make Mac not die as much, or
I like that.
But still die a little.
yeah.
A little. I mean, enough to be scarier.
They're only about to those asking in the chat how far back in time they are. They're only probably about 6 months back in time because they're very close to the time of Eerie's original death, and they've only really been active as Phoenixes for a few months. So, and you all came back around the same time. Let's see here. And one more. What's an object you'd find in this room?
A froyo machine.
Okay.
No.
Maybe some hay.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we'll put some hay bales in there.
This hay flavored froyo. I don't know what that
Terrible.
means.
Okay, now drawn in crayon for extra fun.
It's whimsical.
There are a rack of picks. Boxes of something. You guys can decide what's in the boxes when you pick them up.
What's in the box?
They're crates, but you can also put stuff in them. Per your wonderful storytelling, there's a rock fall. There are torches. I mean tiki torches, but I don't think they're really tiki torches. They're torches on long sticks.
Torches.
Torches on long sticks.
At Party City, so they may very well be tiki
Yeah.
torches. Yeah.
Used corpses and hay bales, which looks like hay balls there, but what are hay balls? No one knows. So these are hollows, if you want to show
I do.
what they are. And there's quite a few of those, but as you're sort of positioning yourself to start, all the various folks, and mind you, none of the ones like that normally have like a visible mask except for you. They all sort of have the mask sort of like floating in front of them in your vision, but good job, Braid. But the one of them, like after you've snapped this one's neck, one of the ones that's like standing on the wall, like, and the mask is sort of there physically. It's just like, a centimeter off his head, and it looks sort of like it's made out of like, porcelain or something. But it moves as he talks. It says, "Oh, well, I guess we'll see what you're made of. But first, allow me to introduce you to a friend. I'm not sure you've ever met him, but you should have a lot in common." And then sort of like thump, 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 from out of one of the sort
No,
of
sir,
shadows.
I don't like it. Don't like it at all.
This thing,
What?
which is another phoenix.
Hold on.
What?
Oh no.
What?
No love.
This phoenix is, you don't know this phoenix's name, but his sort of, we'll play him just as the card. He is he sort of has like he's one of the many empty or full suits of armor phoenixes. He's clearly a Durant. You sort of feel all the sort of phoenix energy coming off him that you normally feel, but there's definitely something wrong with him. And the mask says again, "He's been here a while. He's mine now. You won't be able to get him back, but you can try if you want to waste your time. Until then, he and my friends here will kill you. And if you make it out, I'll see you soon."
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Creepiest one yet. Oh my god.
Hey, this
The
is
dread's
the
fun.
Halloween game.
Nope.
Wow.
Well, we should probably figure out what's going on with this phoenix. So in the meantime, we should start wailing on these other guys.
Okay.
Shall I jump in on the wailing?
Please do. There's a rack of picks.
Yeah,
Quite
well,
what you're used to, but
much as I love fire, I'm gonna go with the rack of picks because I don't
Yeah.
want to disappoint people. So someone
Okay.
can please check that off for me.
I got it.
Yeah. Thank you, Tara.
Rack of picks. Engage.
All right. So I can't hit as hard because I'm not damaged yet. That's really sad to say.
We've all had those days. It's okay.
Ooh. Group any. Okay.
All right, I'm going to take the rack of picks and I'm going to start wailing on as many hollows as I can. So I can hit them with an attack right now of 16.
16, and you're gonna hit one of the hollows.
I'm going after the hollows
Okay.
with a lot of picks
with a lot of picks.
in their faces.
All right, you drew from that already?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and assume that that is brutal damage because it is like a bunch of spinning picks that you're throwing out of a cabinet or whatever it is, however this rack is constructed.
Imagine I'm just picking them out.
So that's going to be, that's going to take one out altogether. So you just basically like slam it against the wall full of picks and it, crumbles. And once you've sort of fully deanimated them, it's clear that they are like they've been dead longer, or not so much dead, but like they've been like barely clinging to life for much longer. What I'm saying is they were not going to survive. Like
Okay.
there was no way these things were going to walk away alive.
Okay.
So they may have lasted a few more weeks if you hadn't intervened, but they're certainly not. They're not. There's no bringing these back. Not at this stage.
Okay.
However.
Well, he probably goes every turn, doesn't he?
No, he's gone.
Oh.
No, the
oh.
Durant, I mean.
No, the Durant does not. They both
Okay.
have a speed of 2, which is good. But the Hollow does get to try a strike back at you when you kill it. It is an attack of 12. However, I'm going to give you 6 against that already. So it's only an attack of 6 because like it's trying to strike back at you through a rack of picks. So it doesn't really, it doesn't have the reach. So make a defense of 6 on your turn. This is
Is it
just
all
you.
or nothing, or?
It is not. It's a standard attack.
Okay. I can actually defend against that. So.
Okay, so it
debating if I wanted to take
a
damage or not.
nearly undead fist punches through the rack of picks and tries to get you, but you dodge out of the way. And this is on your turn, so you can still draw back up when
Yep.
it's done.
Cool.
All right, who's taking the torch next?
I've taken the torch. Okay, so at this point,
Where's all
like,
my cards?
Adalia's a little frustrated because she's like, okay, I thought maybe these guys could be saved. Everyone kept killing them, and that was disappointing. But I see now that they're just a problem, so fine. And so I go in. I'm going to use Rockfall and do one of my new favorites. Or not so new favorites. I heat up the rocks and just blast them out into the crowd of the hollows. So first I'm using Pyromancer, and when I burn 1 spark, that increases my attack to 4. Oh no, this is a group enemy, so 8. And I'm using my intellect card as Grace, so that's 8, 10, 17.
Nice.
I think, yeah, that's where we're at.
17. That you reduce. We'll say you kill one of them, like you deanimate one body outright, and you do significant damage to another.
Okay.
And they're pelted with hot rocks. They are going to take another swipe back at you. So it's a defense of 12.
I'm gonna jump in front of that.
You can?
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna take Death Wish. I'm gonna go ahead and jump in front of that because I do better if I've been hit a couple times.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Death Wish.
All right, so you take the full brunt of it.
High five.
It's incredibly strong. Like we're talking, like Superman strong. And so it basically like you dive in front of it, and then the hit hits you, and you go flying back into the wall. It does 2 wounds to you. That's all.
All right.
And you sort of collide against the wall. And I'm assuming, and you get back up looking even more wolfy. So good
Yeah.
for them.
Can I go ahead and, since I decided to take damage, flip Grimclaw?
Definitely.
Okay.
Also, I see in the chat, I see that there was an object the object added is Robert, not Bob Whiskers.
No.
What? Why would you do that,
he there?
guys?
Oh,
We met Robert last time.
I
Yes.
saw that. Yeah.
It is.
He became a phoenix, right?
He did.
He did become a phoenix. This is actually just a statue of Robert, not Bob Whiskers.
Oh, okay.
And what you don't know, but you would if you touched it with psychometry, is that a Pisca the Blind, a blind clay merchant, made this statue completely unaware of what it looked like by seeing the future, and it was left in the temple as an offering. But yes, so there's a statue of Robert, not Bob Whiskers.
God damn it.
It'll be a fun story to tell.
Robert,
Top
not
Knot
Bob Whisker. Yes, Top Knot.
Top
That's
Knot.
his-
when you
that's
see
his
him
cog.
next.
Chat, really?
I'm not gonna forget about that. Don't worry. Man.
None of us will.
Okay, so your turn's over. Both of you need to make defenses of 12 against the hollow that are attacking you.
Okay.
This is on their turn, and also the Durant is attacking, and he is going to. It is an attack of 14, and it is against you.
Okay, I can do 12 against the hollow using untouchable.
You're fine.
So yeah.
Oh God. I get one defense card. So plus my thought coil.
Are you in Shining Mirror or are you in Passing Pain?
I'm in Shining Mirror.
Okay, yeah. Well, at least you'll do damage to them
Yes.
or to him.
Oh, you know what? And on top of it, I'm going to burn 2 more
Bless you.
sparks to give him a burning condition.
Okay.
So I get 1 grace card. So 4. So I've got 6 defense.
Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I can bump you up to 9.
Well, if he, I definitely, I want to take it so that he gets, because he gets 2 points of brutal damage for every wound I take. So
If I
what?
bump
But
up to
that's gonna
9,
be. That'll make.
If
me-
you won't, it won't have much of a tangible effect because it's not an all or nothing, and the difference between 6 and 9 against 14 is still going to be under his minimum damage. So, you're going to
Thanks
take you take 3 wounds, which is a lot.
Oh.
As he sort of like hits you with his giant glaive and it knocks you back, but then you do 6 back to him, which actually takes off 2 of his health levels, which
Time
is
for
pretty
some
good.
passive pain, yo.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. When can I switch that up? Not during this
the
battle.
House of Pain is in effect, y'all.
Yeah.
And
That
rather
is the law.
rather unfortunately, he's on fire for a brief second, and you can because he hit your talent or whatever,
Yeah.
and then you can see him spend like some energy and it sizzles off. His face is, by the way, is like totally dead. I mean, under the armor, like you can see his eyes are just sort of like glazed over.
Kind of like Franken
shit.
Mountain.
Yes, Franken Mountain.
Oh boy.
In fact, we're gonna say his Durant name is Mountain. Non-copyright infringing Mountain.
No.
All right. Who wants it next?
Jan, you want it?
I'll take it.
There are only 2 more. No, sorry. There are only 3 more hollow up.
Okay.
Do the thing.
This is
Murder them all in
This
the
is your
face.
vengeance.
Face murder.
Yes.
Okay, let's see.
I feel like Blitz Weinhard Brewing Company might have stories to tell that I don't want to hear.
Oh, so many stories can they tell you?
Yeah.
There's 3 more, so I can do 8 to take 1 down. Yes.
Well, they have a defense of 4, and they have 12 total health.
12 total. So I have to do 12.
You have to do 12, so you need to do 12. You need to do 16 total to take them down in one shot, unless the damage is brutal.
Damn. Okay.
That's if you're trying to one shot them. Well, there's one that's wounded that only has 8, so you could take him down for 12.
What is the Durant like?
The Durant does not look like he definitely is reflecting some damage from what blasted back against him from the Shining Mirror, but he looks in much better shape. He has a defense of 12 because he's basically a suit of armor.
This gonna suck.
I can add 3 to what you're doing too.
Okay. I am going to.
Wait, are you attacking the hollow or the phoenix?
I'm going to attack the phoenix.
Okay.
There's a little trick I learned when I was trapped in a barn once. I'm going to use the tiki torches and set the hay bales on fire, and then kick it into the back of his legs to try and knock him off his feet.
You can cross off one or the other, not both, and draw a card, and then the other one is still active. So you kick flaming hay bales at him. Now here's the thing: the Durant has like a perfect defense, like he's a master of defense. To prevent him from basically just discarding your attack, you need to burn a spark to hit him. So you need just to target him as a spark. FYI.
Wow.
Okay.
Because otherwise he will, he's like a judo master. He will shrug away anything that comes at him otherwise. So be aware of that. Yeah. That's judo right there. Do you want to throw it at him?
Can I put it in him?
Yeah, you can.
All right then.
I'm gonna put my grace inside.
Well, first off, there's the
Yeah.
spin you.
Oh, okay.
Take that.
With this grace of all inside.
I'm gonna whisper something into his ear. 6.
Using evil against evil.
And then.
I heard the other day and I was like, oh, Jesus. The chant has struck again.
17.
We haven't actually played that in a while.
I can add 3 to your spread too.
So
We're
can
just
I?
interested in trying to take a chunk out of
You need to build one spark to hit him,
Right.
and that doesn't count towards your attack, by the way.
Right.
And he's a defensive 12.
Yeah.
He has a lot of health levels. The majority are 4.
Okay.
Do you want some?
Wait.
So that's
Eerie, what you need to do is target his defense here. So there's an extra 3.
his nuts. I know that. Jesus Christ.
There's a chink in the arm. Oh, never mind. There's a crack.
Wait, what?
There's a bit in the armor that's.
Whoa.
No. I'll help increase the intensity of your attack with my gravity
how many is
force.
that?
All right.
So that's +3 to.
20.
I'll just stand here and
then-
look at you
Yeah.
going, yeah.
All right. And doesn't that go under your card now?
It does.
Sweet.
I'm learning how to use it right now. All right.
Okay, so you got 6 more than what you're showing there, plus your talent if it adds to your attack.
I believe we're at 23.
23? Yeah. Okay, so 23 minus 12 is 11. So that is.
Oh, I need one more to do another level.
Yeah. All right, boop, boop, boop. That's 3 of his health levels down.
Whew.
Way to go. So it's Ink and then the baddies, if I have my pacing correctly.
You do.
So there are still 3 hollows up.
Yep, and I'm going for one of the hollows.
Okay.
One of the
This would be a
hollows.
great time to allow Ink to attack all of them simultaneously
What
by.
I'm doing is I'm flipping over Dream Shadow, so I'm hidden, which
Donate
gives me
now.
a +4 to attack. And one thing I've been consistently ignoring is on Shadow Dancer, is anytime I make an attack while hidden, I get to add an additional card.
Nice.
So I'm putting down a total spread of 16 for the hollows.
16 for the hollows.
Yeah.
That easily takes one out. I'm assuming you'll take a fresh one out. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to make a strike back at you, of course, though, before you draw back up.
Okay.
So this is a defense 12.
Okay, so there's 5 automatically, and then with Heart of the Wing, if each of you wants to put in a spark, then I make it. Because each spark adds +3 to my defense.
Boom, and you're fine, and it goes down. All right,
Because you
so.
love me. In
All right,
your,
so-
in your way.
All right, bad guys go. So there are 2 hollow left. One of the hollows is going to attack Mac, and one of the hollows is going to attack you because you're sort of in them right now.
Sure, let me-
So that's go ahead and draw it, but that's a defense 12. This is not an all or nothing, so go ahead and defend as much as you can or can't.
I have superhuman reflexes, but it only counts for the 1 off the top.
Off turn, if I add to wing make spread, I can't draw up through my.
No,
turn.
not until you. No, not. But I mean, I
Until
think
at
that
the end of my
ability
turn.
just is at the end of your turn. It
It
gives
means
you.
I can pull it back up, I guess, kind of
Play one
Oh, on my
card
next
anyway.
turn, so. Oh, aces.
Yeah.
All right. That fixes that.
Right, so with Untouchable, which gives me +5, bam.
All right, you're fine.
If I play Superhuman Reflexes, which lets me pull an additional card, can I go ahead and play that since it's a trait?
Right, the trait doesn't count towards your at all.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and burn the spark to pull another card and hope that it helps
So that's
me.
2 cards because Superhuman Reflexes gives you 1 already. That's why it's so superhuman. If you burn the spark, it's 2. You see what I'm saying? Like it would normally be any
yeah.
trait is 1.
Yeah.
So draw 2 cards.
Okay. Ooh, that's good for later. All right, I will do that then.
Okay.
4.
So 4.
Yeah.
I'll make Superhuman Reflexes 3 in this stage, so it's 6. So you're gonna take 1 wound.
All right, I'm also going to go ahead and set them on
Set them on
Fearer.
fire. Fearer.
Yes.
Fearer.
And
All right.
Fearer.
So he is feared, and good for him. Okay, and the Durant is going to, or Mountain is going to pick up Eerie and throw him. This is attack 12, standard attack.
Sorry, Eerie. Taryn, just because you're over there, would you mind grabbing me one of
I am the
those?
beverage bitch. It's fine. All right. Any?
That's a title you brought on yourself.
I don't hate it.
Yeah. Will you grab me another one of those gingered ales?
Can
When
we
you're
call you
there?
the beer wench? Is that slightly less terrible?
You could
Thank
do that
you.
if that makes you feel better. That's fine.
It does.
What would you?
One of the IPAs.
What would you like?
What is that?
Small and quick, so
I'm
it's
not
11.
the only one that has
11?
open
All right, so he
bottles
still
tonight.
manages 1 on you. So it is 1. He's going to throw you into the. Well, I hate to do it because they're useful, but he's going to throw you into the boxes. So and that stuns you, but you only take 1 wound. No, you take no wounds because it's flat damage and you brought it down to
Actually
1.
Blue apron
Oh crap! No, I'm
boxes,
sorry.
so
It's
he
1.
just threw in a
Yeah,
ton
take
of
1
credits.
wound. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Well, they were gonna go bad in a week anyway.
So you got 1 wound
find
and
those
you are
kids in the
stunned.
slave house.
So that's gonna,
Sex houses.
I believe, for phoenixes that means you have an effect and not that you can't act. Let's see here. Stunned is card limit reduced by 1 for all spreads until the end of your next turn. That's it.
Okay.
So yeah, you're stunned, and he throws you through the boxes, so they're not available. Who wants the torch? Fresh round.
All right, I'm going to draw up here. Let's see what I can do here. Some of my favorite cards. Hey, Tiki Georges, what up?
Wait a minute. Also,
Save it.
move damage back to him.
Oh, how
Got
much?
a
Oh, wait a minute. Is it only?
Sharpie.
It's only 11. It's
it-
not enough. Is it?
Yeah, no, it doesn't break his armor.
Never mind.
Are we at
I'm
the
making you
tiki,
blue.
tiki, tiki,
Thank you.
tiki, tiki room?
Yes, sure, whatever.
Sure.
Whatever makes you happy.
Kills.
How messed up is the Phoenix looking?
You would say he's over half of his health levels are down, but his health levels are significantly beefier than others.
All right. Well, I'm going to use crude but effective because I'm going to
Okay.
take Tiki torches
What?
to him.
All right,
I
a
know.
rare find.
I'm going to go ahead and use Ruthless, and it's
Okay.
going to let me draw another card here,
Mhm.
which is awesome. I'm also going to go ahead and burn a spark to make that worth 10.
Oh wow, nice.
And then I'm going to add another 5 here, and I'm going to knock over my carefully tiled sparks here. So that gives me, let's see, 15, 20, 24, 27, 30.
Okay. So what? How are you hitting him with these tiki torches? I should ask.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the flame side and I'm going to hit him a few times with that, but then I'm going to take the other ends of them and drive them in where his eyes would have been.
Okay. So what's the
His
total?
eyes are still there.
30.
30.
Not anymore.
30.
Okay, so 30 minus 12. Oh, sorry, and the spark to hit him. 30 minus 12 is 18. So that is, here's the unfortunate part. That goes through his first, second, and third for like level 4 health level, and then does not make it through the 20 health level that he has left. But remember that 20 health that 20 health level is also 1 brutal health damage down. So all you have to do is get him to punch Tara, and
All right, I'm ready. Passing pain is up. In effect.
all right. So who's next?
Scheisse.
There's 2.
All right, what am I gonna do?
Want to pass some pain on him?
I do.
That'll kill him. He can't. It's brutal damage.
All right.
Do it.
So, let's take Bob for 300. All right. So I pick up.
Wow.
I pick up Bob, and I just give him a good whack
Wait,
straight
no.
down. I didn't
Bob
get to
would
meet
have
him,
wanted to
I'm
be used
sorry.
this way.
He means nothing to me.
I didn't know the guy. So let me see. Intellect, damn you. Okay. Sure. Mysterious, because I didn't know Bob.
Okay.
So sorry.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Tara. Wah, wah.
I got.
That's Tara. All right. Yeah. Sure. I'll take it.
I'm working with what I got. Who is this? What is he smashy? Okay. So I get.
Truly, he was the smashiest Phoenix of us all.
Oh, good. And I can take
Except
back.
you.
Thank God for my new talent because I get 2 intellect cards for my attack, and I didn't have many, so I get to take back my intellect. And so.
That's 8.
And plus we get a point for this, right?
No, it doesn't work that way. It
thought
just
it
drew you a card.
Right, that's a draw. Okay.
So draw. Yeah.
Not
So,
that I can do anything with it actually.
well, okay. So there's a number of options you have here. You can burn enough sparks to get over it. You have 8. You would need to burn 4 sparks. Or,
I only have a certain amount. It'll let me do.
traits
Yeah.
though. If you have traits, you can use. Traits are always free. So.
I mean, you could
We're
draw.
drawing and trying to get another one.
I've got Savior. How would you like me to figure out that one?
That does not apply, I'm afraid. Not directly.
See, okay.
She's going to release him from his tortured life.
There you
obviously.
go. So, all right. So if I've got
Just
to
look
burn,
at the flowers.
God.
So it would be 5 sparks just to bring this home, and then you'd need to burn however many sparks you need to pass him to pain. But you only need to
Right.
pass him one of your wounds, although you can give him the rest of them if you can.
Because now those brutal wounds equal more, I think, because of my rank.
And you can
Equal
put
to
more
half your
on.
rank. Okay, so each one is 2.
Fine.
Yeah, but it just needs to be just need
Whatever
1 brutal
might
damage
be.
in your front.
Okay,
Your
if I'm going to
cloak?
do this, so I need 3 to get it done.
No, you need
initially?
4. You
guess
need
who you are.
5 to get there.
See, some games you just go through those sparks. All right.
5 to get there, and then as many as it takes to pass the wounds.
Okay. It's 1 per wound. So each one is 3 brutal damage. Wait,
You just need.
your number of wounds equal to half your rank. Okay. Okay. So that's 1 for 1.
That takes him.
Okay, I can give him 2. That's the maximum
Yeah.
I can give actually.
So he's dead either way. And do you want to give him? Do you want to?
let's make it count.
Okay. so
So-
you.
Clear those wounds. You
Yeah.
need.
Yeah.
Because you also need to be sucking them off them later so that you can
Yeah.
because they don't drop.
right.
Phrasing. Are we not doing phrasing anymore?
Hello.
So you basically give him back the damage he dealt you, and you can see his armor fuses and he sort of fades away, and there's a sort of brief spark in his eyes for a second as you see he is able to shake off the influence of the fallen for just a second, and then he just incinerates. But this will be fun.
Oh, great.
He attends you as a spirit.
Mountain. Mountain.
And
so
you can feel his
crazy.
presence, but he's not interacting with you. But he has 5 sparks.
All right.
So he has 5 sparks, and he has the trait Unstoppable. No, Too Big to Fail. So if you ever want to apply Too Big to Fail to anything,
What
he
does
can
Too
do
Big
it.
to Fail do?
It just, it's you only apply the message of the trait. So
Okay.
so he has Too Big to Fail the trait. So if you feel like that applies to anything, he can grant you that trait on the which
Cool.
is
All right.
I'm going to take 2 seconds.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Actually, I'm going to.
Oh.
Bathrooming.
Go to the water
If
part.
you're,
I don't
if
know
you
what's-
know,
Go see a man about a dog.
I'm always going to take the opportunity.
All right, I guess Chan, you got to stick around if they're all gonna go. Pass me a Twix, by the way. So Chan, what have you been up to? Has the 101 started yet?
It hasn't yet, man.
What's going on?
Iffy is a busy man.
Okay.
Between all his nerdish stuff and I'm not sure what else he does, but he does a lot of business. So we're trying to get it together. But we just moved both Science Jerks and Knowing Is Half the Podcast over to Boardwalk Audio. I don't know if you know Stephen Perlstein. He's put together a pretty good network. So there's a bunch of new stuff. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
How old is the Science Jerks now?
I don't rightly know. Because before, it used to be called Science.
Okay.
That went for about a year and a half. I think we're probably I think we were over 3 years on this one, so
Wow.
5-ish years. We've been doing it for a while.
What's the big science news this week?
Well, the biggest thing is the thing that keeps showing up on everybody's Facebook feed. Only mothers pass along intelligence to their children, which is the headline. And then you read the thing, and it's like, well, I mean, like because they're scared, intelligence scared on the X chromosome. You know, the woman is more likely to pass on her intelligence, and like, but it does. It's not. The headlines are always garbage when Science News makes it to your Facebook feed.
Somewhere along the way, it becomes terrible.
Yeah, and there's an entire podcast to be made just about like shitty science journalism. But I don't know.
Well, that's interesting. But so it's more likely though, still, for mothers to pass on intelligence. Than...
Yeah.
Okay.
You know. Yeah. I was really hoping to pass along. Hopefully, sense of humor gets passed along through on the male side. That is my hope.
Have you been doing anything about like Elon Musk's approaching Mars series and everything else?
Approaching Mars series?
He's doing like a episodic television event that I think dramatizes the quest for Mars with Neil deGrasse Tyson and himself.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like it's entirely a non-fiction account of what it would be like, but then there's also like those scenes where someone's like rolling around like in the airlock as the spaceship moves quickly and like desperately trying to hit a button, and you're like, well, you may have kicked it up a notch.
Well, I mean,
All of those
Cosmos did
things.
it. That's fine. But at least it's not. There was a company that wanted
my
to
God.
do a reality series, and they were going to use the proceeds from the reality series of like picking people from all over the world to colonize Mars. They're going to use the money from the reality series to fund the actual trip to Mars.
Oh wow.
Right.
And that
Okay.
failed.
Well,
As
back
you
in the
would
day,
expect.
I was part of something called the Mars Society, which was a group that was like creating like sort of like earthbound habitats that would like in areas of the world that were similar to Mars,
Yeah.
where they would have people live for 2 months.
cool.
And they were just like getting data on that. It was kind of interesting. I applied to a bunch of them. At the time, like having my only credits, not that they've gotten any more sciencey, but my only credits being like a comedian. We're kind of like, yeah, you're gonna need comedy on Mars. All right, I'm gonna do it to you guys too. So you guys are gonna have to vamp.
Oh.
Vamp.
right.
The vamp.
Something Halloween you can talk about.
One thing that
Alright.
Perpetually.
Mac neglected to mention about her Harry Potter Pathfinder game that she's playing is that it features only the female saving throw.
Yeah, it'll be
members.
all women, which will be
Yeah.
really nice. I've never actually been in a game that's been all women, and I know a lot of female gamers, but generally, it's been mixed groups.
Yeah.
Or occasionally where I'm the token lady.
Sure. So
Yeah.
it's going to be Tracy King, right? Is Tracy
I'm
in it?
actually not 100% sure of everyone who's supposed to be in there. I think I was asked a little bit later along the run. Hey, what's up?
This is Ryan, by the way.
This
He's
is-
running it for us
Yes.
today.
Yeah, he's chat captain tonight and running all of the ones and twos for us.
Chat.
I'm ruining everything. Blame me.
He's also married to me, so pretty creepy, right?
On
For
one
a
end.
while now.
Yeah, I know. Actually, next week it'll be 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, we got married on a Friday the 13th.
Oh, I know.
It's awesome. I got to, well, and it gave me a good excuse on our invitations to write my apologies to any and all paraskevidectophobics. Although I could have also put frigatriscadectophobia as well.
Yes.
It's easier to say when you are not almost done with 3 beers.
And with the fangs, I
Very
have to imagine those probably. Well, you're probably used
said
to
those are
that
pretty,
by now,
like-
They're not
right?
bad at all. I have
Yeah?
no trouble talking with them. Do you hear
No
any
lisping is-
problems?
No. It's impressive.
They were made for talking in.
These fangs were made for talking. Sorry.
Are you?
Huh?
I don't think you're sorry.
Yeah, I never am. All right.
So
Congrats,
what?
By the way, from Braid.
Oh, thank you, Braid.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a long and sordid tale.
Oh.
But yeah. And then tomorrow night, speaking of creepy things,
The presidential debate?
no, something way awesomer than that. You shall not tarnish this with the presidential
I shall
debate.
not, yes,
But we're
please.
going to go to Halloween Horror
Yes, we
Nights
are!
at Universal.
man.
It's going to be great.
I like that they have some classic themed mazes this year. They've got Exorcist, they've got Freddy vs. Jason, which is not classic, but has 2 classic creatures. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre is also classic. And then Halloween, which I don't know if it's the return of the Halloween maze from last year or if it is Halloween 2.
Well, the one thing that I liked, I didn't see it, but is part of my day job, which I can't disclose right now.
Oh.
We sent somebody through the Halloween maze specifically, and one of my favorite little Easter eggs is there was a room with a couple of the kids who had the masks from Halloween 3.
3?
Yeah,
Which, as we all know, you love and I love.
I love it. Season of the Witch. If you've not seen Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, you need to, because it's like 7 movies in one, and it's got nothing to do with the rest of the Halloween saga.
And it's really no
Wow.
holds barred. Like a lot of
Yeah.
movies, they don't like really fuck up children or it's off screen. But that
Oh,
one,
yeah.
they're like, you know what? It would be awesome if we just killed a child in the most horrific way possible. That'd be great.
Yeah. And then also robots.
Yes, all the robots.
Would
So many robots.
Would you have given up the remainder of the Halloween series to see more of it being like?
Anthology.
I love
anthology
anthology
Absolutely,
horror. Yeah.
because honestly, past Halloween 2, by way of the Mike Myers story, there's not really a lot going for it.
Yeah.
It devolves into typical slasher to me, on par with like the first Halloween versus Friday the 13th. Halloween is the clear winner. I think it's a much stronger movie. Friday the 13th really hedges on the fact that it's Mrs. Voorhees. Oh my God, spoilers. If you haven't seen it, like seriously, what the hell? But after that, it's really laws of diminishing returns on both of those franchises. So I think having Halloween rejuvenated by being a different story every time probably would have been a stronger franchise move in the long run. It was just in the short run, having made Halloween 1 and 2 a direct sequel, they messed up the mojo of what it could have been.
And I will just interject that Jason X is still kind of a fun movie. It's not
I mean,
a good movie,
there's
but
ones
it's
that are
fun. Yeah.
fun, but not great. Like, I think Jason Takes Manhattan is hilarious. It's awful, though. It's funny, but it's awful. I mean, they're on, like, a fucking cruise liner, and it's like, we're in Manhattan now.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can't. Crystal Lake does not empty out into the.
No,
you know.
because there's like a cave underneath with a kind of.
I mean,
flows
I
into
also
the
think
Hudson
that
River.
that Freddy vs. Jason was surprisingly cool, and I was
I thought it was boring.
See, but I like the idea that they blended those worlds really effectively, which I thought was kind of neat, which I thought was cool, and also the fight. Like I'm a big, I hate to say this because like I consider myself a very like intellectual, if you will, like watcher of
When I will.
like consumer of like geek media, but I love a great fight scene. Like I love, there's a really fantastic, I forget what the full name of it is. It's a Justice League cartoon movie where they fight the
Crime
Syndicate.
Earth 2.
Earth 2.
No, but I mean that's what it's based on.
Yeah.
Crisis on Two Worlds.
Crisis on Two Worlds,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And there's a
I
fight
worked on that
scene
one.
between the whole Crime Syndicate and the entire Justice League. That's one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen. The movie is actually quite good, especially like the Batman Owlman stuff is fantastic.
And James Woods is Owlman. It's
Oh, yeah.
perfect.
Owlman's also my favorite character in the DC universe that you never see.
Yeah.
If you say Owlman, people are like, who? I'm like, the evil Batman. They're like, isn't Batman evil Batman? I'm like, well, that's about moral relativity, but that's not important right now. But no, like I love a good fight scene, and I love there's so many great cartoons that have great fight scenes that are otherwise terrible.
Although great fight scenes, we have to go back to They Live and fighting over a pair of sunglasses in an alley for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I love that fight scene. It's beautiful.
And there, I mean, I'm with you though. I would definitely. I think that the Halloween franchise fell apart, especially because I honestly think they would have been much better off if the Michael Myers sequels 3 and on had not kept trying to explain Michael Myers some weird way.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah, like if they're just like, yeah, Michael Myers, yeah, we can't kill him and he wants to murder you. It's not like a witch's plot. It's not a a chemical thing. It's not. They kept trying. He's not passing the curse down to whatever 80s kid actor was, whatever.
Yeah, I think pound for pound, though, if we're going to talk horror franchises within that kind of realm, the strongest one is the Nightmare series.
We're on a tangent.
Yes.
It happened.
Nightmare on Elm
The
Street
previous show had 4.
I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is pretty balls because it breaks the rules from the first one. But pound for pound, I think that's the stronger continuity franchise
I feel like there's
versus
more-
Friday the 13th or Halloween.
There's also more latitude with the Freddy mythology because
There is. There's a lot more
yeah.
wiggle room there.
Yeah.
And it's fun. Like, Dream Warrior is kind of garbage, but fun garbage. Dream Child, again, fun garbage.
Also, I'm a big fan of the Return of the Living Dead series, but that's a conversation for another time.
I think that was my first boobies as a child.
Really?
Yeah.
Leanna Quigley?
Yeah.
Oh, we're
The
actually-
punk girl walking down the street, just naked.
The 80s had so much of that. Like, we just lost that somewhere after the 90s. You know?
We're,
It was
we're
like
doing
boobs in
Return
movies.
of the Living Dead as our group cosplay for the horror trivia group I compete with because our name is the Rabid Weasels, which is from that.
Oh, nice.
So we're actually doing a whole group of like the punks and the Tarman zombie and stuff.
Who's
Nice.
Starman?
One of the other guys in our group.
Right on.
I think what is so weird today, like just to be an old man for a second and to really tangent away from like the genre. I think that when we were younger, when our generation was younger, it was harder to see nudity. So they like early nudity really stuck. I think nudity's sort of like all over now. But like I honestly think that like my take in like the things that I can identify as like being my thing, like what I'm into in like a woman's body or whatever, all came a lot from like my first, and it was, by the way, it was Jennifer Connelly in Inventing the Abbots. No, sorry, it was the girl in Just One of the Guys at the end of that movie. And I was like, that's what boobs should look like forever. And Jennifer Connelly sort of like cemented that because that's a very similar style of boob. Yeah.
The kind of breasts that I like to see are the ones that are like all like just where you just see like almost a boob and then just.
Oh, you mean that's the kind of porn you were watching when there was like, man.
So you liked watching the scrambled stuff.
I mean, that's all I had. That's all I had.
That's a deep cut for kids today.
Yes.
Heiser.
Joyce Heiser
Thank you,
and Just One of the Guys.
Yes.
That movie, by the way, they did a remake of it
They
with.
did with
Anymore, is it?
Yeah.
No.
That's so crazy.
Now you
Yeah.
just get on the internet and
Yeah.
watch real
Yeah.
porn.
They
No, I
did
remember
a
you,
remake
like,
of it with
accidentally find it the
some
first
with
time you
that
accidentally find it. You're like,
celebutante who
oh,
went
no,
nuts.
Yep,
Amanda
99.
Bynes.
Amanda
Oh,
Bynes.
yeah.
Yes.
Get up at 2 in the morning.
And I did not watch it.
sneak down.
I will admit in a sort of in a what might be considered a low moment that I did find the movie online and fast forward to the end to see if it had a similar scene. It does. You don't see anything though, which is sad. I mean, not that I really needed to see Amanda Bynes topless. My point being, like, I wanted the scene that was so definitive to me to happen again. But they like clearly
today.
they chicken out and like the camera's behind her.
Access to boobs.
Come on.
See, they don't do it like they used to.
Yeah, they don't. But I also think that at this
In
point
the old
too,
days.
like when I used to, even 5 years ago, when I used to like produce horror films, there was a thing where it's like, if your horror film contains, like 5 boobs and 2 murders and 1 scary monster and the cover art's good, it's guaranteed to be successful.
Wow.
I can't believe that math still works. It's like, really? Boobs? I mean, they're available on the internet. Like, who wants to pay for those at a Redbox? But apparently everybody.
I am fascinated
weird.
by pink films in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
Where they have like this sort of regimented, set of like you must have this much sex and this much, but the films themselves, like once you get beyond these sex scenes you have to have in it, they just go bananas, and the plots are just fucking just crazy, and often have like nothing to do, which there was like one where like I think this one girl got a hold of like the severed hand of like the Prime Minister of Japan or something like that, who talked to her and then eventually like managed to set off a nuclear Armageddon. It was just. I was like, this is fantastic.
Dogs and cats living together.
I think media without limits vis-a-vis Japan is definitely a good thing on its own strange way.
While we're speaking about Japan and Halloween favorite films, if you've not seen the movie Wild Zero, seek it out.
But skip Audition, which is not Japanese, but
Oh,
I think
is that
okay. I
that
thought it was one of the
kitty,
Korean
kitty,
ones.
Yeah, no.
That one?
Audition's totally
Oh.
Japanese.
If you wanna
It's
go
Takeshi
older-
Miike.
Okay.
If you want to go older and
Skip
have a
what?
lot of fun with it, Halsu.
Oh yeah,
Houseu is
Houseu.
great because in the middle of it, the title card for the movie comes back up when they retitle it. Have you ever noticed that? Like
It's
right in
such
the
a
middle of
weird
House,
fucking movie.
and it goes House, and then like it cuts back into the film. It's on Netflix or something right now. It's
It was
on
on Hulu
for a
because
while.
it's Criterion.
Yeah,
Oh,
Collection.
really? Okay.
Oh.
I saw
haven't seen it.
I saw it live in theaters. It's so crazy, and everyone
It's
goes
so
nuts.
weird.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird, but it's super
And then
fun.
along those lines, Happiness the Katakuris, which is also a kind of horror musical by the guy who directed Audition.
Okay.
Oh, are you against
Huzzah!
Full
Were
circle.
you anti-audition, were you saying?
Yeah, Audition's too scary. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's fucked up, man.
Yeah, I saw that way back when I lived in San Diego at like in a full theater, and it's
But yeah, that's
never...
that moment right there.
Kitty, 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 kitty.
I find the
Yeah.
difference. There's a difference between too scary and just like, why are you fucking doing this? Just stop
Oh.
making whatever
Now
this
it's just
is.
pornographic.
Or-
Yeah, like
Yeah.
for me, like I don't like the horror porn stuff. Like, fuck you, Hostel and Saw series. I don't give a shit about you. You're not horror. You're just gross.
Well, it's amazing. I think we could, if we have like a time machine, we could go back to that moment where like the general populace misinterpreted Saw, because the first Saw was
Oh,
kind of
God,
over
I
the top,
hated
but
that
was
movie.
also kind of smart on some level.
Thanks,
And-
He was in the middle of the room the whole time.
Yeah,
no,
no,
fuck you, movie.
Well,
fuck you, movie.
But the
No.
thing is that I would have taken your take on it than the one where they were like, oh, people just like to see torture, and then Saw just like brought us down that road. Like Hostel is a direct run-up from that. Like,
Yeah.
like if at least Saw tried to be smart in the first one.
It tried. It just sucked at it because seriously, I watched it after like there had already been at least 3 or 4 of them out, and I'm like, all right, I'm a horror fan. I gotta find out what this shit's about. And I'm watching. I'm like, Carrie Elway's still pretty hot. Okay, all right. There's like this body in the middle of the ground. Whatever. Fuck that guy. I don't care. Wait, it was the killer. No, that's no. Fuck you. No, like he was laying perfectly still the whole time throughout this entire movie, and Carrie always like sawing off a foot. No, fuck you, movie. That's not a twist. That's bullshit.
I just kind of like that in Max World when Carrie always saw his foot, the guy would go, oh, like just would have been like, what the fuck? Oh shit, I'm sorry.
Dude,
I blow it.
no. Joke. It's a joke.
My
It's a joke.
favorite
Shit.
reference, though, to that movie, though, the one thing that makes it worth it is Yes Man with Jim Carrey. And he's really depressed, and he's sitting there on the couch watching Saw, and he's watching that scene with the saw cutting, and he's just like, oh, you're almost there, just break the foot off.
Fun fact about that, you know why they featured Saw in Yes Man? Because they're both Warner Brothers movies.
Oh.
Actually, Saw technically is a new line,
Well,
but yeah.
it's Lionsgate.
What?
Never mind.
Lionsgate oversees the franchise licensing for it.
Cheerfully
Because I
withdrawn.
worked on
My
Saw,
lord.
because, yeah, licensing.
Licensing.
You're so wise.
Oh, I think we were playing a game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hey,
sorry.
we're playing
I
a
was-
fantasy
I was-
storytelling
I
game.
was just gonna ask who's gonna see Tyler Perry's Boo. Right. Cool. Tell us.
Seriously. After I see Get Out, and I legit want to see Get Out.
I can't see it. I like scary hypnotism films drive me crazy. I want to because I think it's a great idea and a cool plot and a great team behind it.
Yeah.
But I just can't. I can't. I will not. I will
I get it.
freak out in the middle
Dude,
of that
believe
film.
me, I get it, but I feel like it's an important movie to go see in the theater.
Yeah.
So
I want to. My girlfriend and I are both going to gonna watch Event Horizon again, a movie neither of us feel comfortable watching because it
That
I've
movie-
never
too many
seen it.
too many jump scares and
That
she's
movie
what's
is
In a theater or
not
something?
very
No,
good.
we're just gonna like watch it with a bunch of friends.
Although
Um,
Sam Neill's awesome in it. The rest of the movie's kind of not that good.
All right, fantasy storytelling game.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
No, that was a very loud. Like we trust
is
me,
coming.
we still cover more plot than Dark Sun does.
We love you, John and company.
We do. All right, there are still 2 hollows left, and actually, how many phoenixes have acted this round
I
of the
have
torch?
not
Don't
gone.
remember.
You finished him off. Mac went.
Yeah,
Oh, so,
right,
so
right.
the 2 hollows are going to attack.
Okay.
So one hollow is going to attack you.
What?
That hollow is going to lose a wound because it is on fire. Fear.
Fear.
Um,
Tentacles it.
And one hollow is going to attack Eerie, we'll say. So that's a defense 12, folks.
Okay.
Eventually, the children were saved by, let's say Mo.
Oh man, I just watched the sorry, one more. We're diving back in for a second. You haven't shut the door yet. I rewatched the Community Halloween special way back in the day.
Yeah, we
Two
just
beats at the
watched
very end where they're biting Troy and Troy's goes, "Oh yeah, good, you bit me. You did what zombies do. Good for you." But then the George Takei outro, which is just
Random.
and then and here's something for you, Kevin's. Like, hi, Kevin's not here right now, and you know, you're welcome, Kevin's. It's just such a like, oh, I love that.
That was a really great episode. It's one of my favorite episodes of Community ever.
Gotta go back and watch that.
I'm sorry.
And grab one for me while you're in there.
Be a winch.
All right.
What do I got? I got a survivor, so I'm gonna burn 2 to take a wound down. 7. Yeah, 7. So.
Which is let's see, 7. So that's still 2 wounds. So you take 1 wound. And what do you got in terms of defense?
You know, plenty.
4 redraws.
Yeah, you got
4
redraws.
Yeah,
Don't forget them
but again,
redraws.
I have a limit on the amount I can do.
Yeah, that's true.
'Cause-
But you can still get cards to add to your hand, right?
yeah, for stuff.
For
eventually.
stuff.
For stuff, whatever.
We might draw something amazing.
All right, so I got 2 for my talent. Thanks, Thought Coil.
Mm-hmm.
That's 10.
That's 1 wound. If you can't bump it up from there,
I can't.
take a wound.
So, all right.
All right, so you both take a wound. Hopefully, Eerie and Ink can take out the hollows before they act again.
I think, yeah. I could have given him some crap, but I
Do
didn't.
you mind if I go, Eerie?
How about it?
Cool. So Ink is gonna jump behind a pile of used corpses, confusing the rest of the hollows that remain, giving me a +4 on my attack because I'm hidden with Dream Shadow, and then I'm actually gonna use 2 of these redraws.
Do it to it.
Ooh.
And by the way, viewers, if you want to add some more redraws, you can do so.
That'd be super neat.
It would be super cool.
Redraws and flares. It's always good times.
All right, I'm using Disgrace as an intellect, so there's 7 there, +4 from Dream Shadow, that's 11, and then I'm using Astonishing Luck, because fate often bends in my favor, to give me +4 for a total of 15.
15. All right.
Lucky
That,
So yeah, I
Corpses
duck
were
behind
there.
a pile of corpses, and then all of a sudden,
that takes out 1 handily.
cool.
All right, Eerie. Oh, sorry. Wait. Defense 6 before you draw up. Actually, it's defense 12, but we'll say 6. 'Cause
Well,
you were hidden.
I can't do that.
All right.
Can I help him at all? Because we've got.
Oh, you want? Well, if
connection?
wait.
you want
Is there
to.
anything I can do to help him with?
I'd like to use Too Big to Fail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ah!
All right.
Guy.
So as they do so and they descend upon me, like I kind of form the mountain, and I just kind of like, no.
All right.
So what do I need to do?
You don't
for
need
that?
to know. It's just his trait, so that's 3.
Okay.
And then Mac, do you want to try and make a defense action of some sort to sort of like push him out of the way? You do so at +1 because of your bond.
Let's see. I have Vengeful, which I can use in attack spread, and if I use 2 sparks, I can make an attack back. So maybe, it's like, no, he can't take him out. Jump in and.
All right,
them out of
I
the
will
way?
give you. I will give him 3 in his defense. You have to spend Vengeful and the
Okay.
sparks, and you can attack it back after. So Eerie, we might not even have to worry about this. Oh no, wait, this is going out, so it's not. This is its dying attack. So this is not a valid
it's going
target.
out? Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Never mind that. So so you're 3 in. That's going to protect you from a little bit.
Okay.
Take a wound.
Okay.
Take 1 wound. All right, Eerie, what you got?
Right. No.
Now, what do I have?
Wait, do I get to? Yeah. I can.
Oh sure. Now I get traits.
I got 6, 9, 11. Yeah, I'm at 11. Is it worth burning any sparks?
Let's see. 11 minus 4 is. Yeah, you need to burn. No, actually, you don't. It's very good if you don't, because then it will die on its turn, and so it won't get a chance to last strike you because it will die. It's on Fearer. So, calculatingly done.
It's better to burn out than fade away.
want to start a running tally of Mike's references in the chat room. If Mike reaches 10 references, you all get 5 XP. All right.
The Wicked Witch of Neil Young.
It's 5.
What was that?
Wicked Witch of Neil Young.
Technically, I was quoting Highlander, actually. Or Def Leppard.
The Kurgan.
Kurgan, yeah.
The Kurgan is the best.
And then he gets in the car, or he hijacks the car and he looks at the woman and he says, "Mom."
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so you defeat all of them, but before the last of the Hollows dies, the sort of mask reforms again briefly and says, "You did better than I thought. I'll be waiting."
So this is still going on. All right.
Damn. I should have thought of that sooner. Sorry.
I think our only option is to move forward and go further down.
I agree, but the sooner we're out of here, the better, I think.
Well, there isn't much further to go here. You've reached the end of this building.
Okay, well,
So-
let's do some investigating.
All right.
Is there anybody left to murder?
I'm just looking. Yeah.
I don't know, Sax. If I was going to make a spread, what kind of spread should I make?
Sorry, I just. And it took several.
Photos are happening.
Yep, I dived in on the selfie from our erstwhile engineer.
More observation.
You can make an observation check.
Okay, so that's 5 for Master of Intrigue, 5 for Heightened Awareness. I'm going to use Smartest Person in the Room, giving me another 5, and then, what the hell, let's round it out at 20.
Okay. You think whatever was unearthed here has probably left, and that maybe this force was just trying to pull more useful stuff or get access to more stuff here.
Okay.
So whatever this creature is, it is no longer in this location.
All right, we need to head back up top. If there's more of the Fallen up there, then perhaps they can lead us to wherever their mastermind is. And if I find that mask again, I'm grabbing it before it disappears.
That's what I'm saying. All right. Should we just grab one and try to interrogate it before it becomes the entity?
I think so.
You're the
Perhaps if we
spirit
all descend
girl.
upon it at once,
Yeah.
we can somehow overpower the physical form, and I can try and commune with it again.
It doesn't seem to have a problem with talking to us. Just
The mountain agrees.
in fact, maybe it's worth talking to the person in your head right now, because he was overpowered by this entity as it was.
That's a great idea.
Oh, yes. Hold on a moment.
Just saying!
Smart wolf. Very nice.
The mountain is there.
You guys don't give me enough credit.
The mountain is basically in like attending
really
use the spirit
believe in you.
anyway, but you can sort of like direct your communications to him.
Okay.
Unfortunately, his story is not terribly informative. He was on patrol here. It looked a lot like that. He was on patrol here, and he found out about this conspiracy that he felt like there was like a new crime syndicate forming in the town, and so he went to investigate. But he was beset by these creatures, and he was sort of subjected to this powerful fallen entity for a long time.
Imagine
And-
that Ink is pantomiming this, but it's just an awkward cloak moving around.
Shaking cloak, and like all the text is just the words like.
It's got popcorn.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
But he feels like the entity might be like a rogue fallen. It's not like it sort of forces you to do things against your will and you're conscious of it. It just sort of takes over your body when it does it, and it sort of pushes your sort of soul out. He feels like he was a rare case, that it's not common or easy for this creature to take phoenixes, but that somehow by being, sort of conditioned and controlled over time, he was able to make the connection.
Mountain just pawn on chessboard of life.
He also says that he left, that like the entity entirely left at the moment, just before the moment of his death. So when it was clear the final blow was going to be struck, the entity ran away. And so he was conscious of the last hit, which is why he was able to stay here.
Ascended spirit Right.
That's good information.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully your sacrifice won't be in vain.
He's looking forward to getting on to his next incarnation. He is a rank 5 Durant, and he feels his wing probably misses him as he's been, as far as he can tell, he's been like completely out of commission or like basically serving as the muscle for this creature for the past several weeks.
Time has a funny way of passing. Fear not, Mountain.
Well, we need to keep an eye out for our own sakes then.
I know. Let's go back up top.
Right.
As we're going back up, I'm just going to come up to you and just be like, I have enough things in my head. Don't let it be one more thing.
I'll do my best.
So you head up top. The city is still sort of moving around as if nothing has happened. You know, the Titanic battle you had down there was far enough underground that no one even noticed. And if they did, they're too busy sort of hiding their criminal activities to go forward. Now that you're no longer sort of at that hive of criminal activity, it's much less frequent that you see someone with a mask. But you do occasionally, like if just watching the street, every hour or so you'll see someone sort of wandering by. But disturbingly, let's say you watch for several hours, while you're sort of getting your feet on the ground, every now and again, most of them are criminals, but then every now and again it'll just be like a kid skipping with, with a balloon. I don't know why. This hasn't been invented yet. Kid skipping.
Goat bladder that's been
Kid dragging a goat. But it'll be like random people, and you can sort of, once you see the mask, you're sort of aware that they're actually acting, play acting as they would their role, and not necessarily being natural in their space.
I think we need to snag another one, and we need to either the entity's going to come back and talk to us again, or something else. But what else do we have to go off of right now?
No, absolutely.
What happens if we trap it in the body and then kill him?
I don't know that that's a possibility, but it's worth a shot, I suppose.
Well, either way, we need to at least snag one of them.
Yes.
Plans?
I mean, I think we wait and
I
grab someone.
I was thinking, Idalia might, just because we know we have such little time, once they get a sense of who we are, might come up behind one and just place her hands on his head and just ask, what happened to you? Just kind of reach into its mind, what happened to you? To try to get that sense of it and see if I can reach it before the entity kind of takes control again.
Okay.
So I guess that's a series of...
Well, what kind of target do you want? Do you want to go after one of these criminals that are wandering around, or do you want to go after someone who is, clearly not part of this element?
Makes sense. I guess I'll go after a criminal just because they might know more.
Okay.
All right, so we found one of them, and I just kind of ease in, and I sort of give my aura off so that it doesn't suspect anything. He's not worried about anything. He's not concerned about my vicinity.
Sure.
And so, could this be a diplomacy spread?
Well,
no.
First you need to catch, if you're going to try and catch him, or it's going to be a gray spread no matter what, but it can be a gray skill spread. I don't know that it might be a spirits roll. I mean, are you trying to capture the entity or the creature behind it?
Well, what I wanted to do, because I think that the person who's dealing with it would have known what he was dealing with. If he engaged, if he tried to engage with a fallen, he knows what he did and what he asks, and so I actually kind of just want to sneak up and kind of get into their head and see if I can
make a spirit spread.
Okay. Sort of with my easing presence, be release your guilt. Tell me what you did. Tell me what happened to you.
I'll tell you what. What if, hypothetically, while she's doing that, I kind of come around front and I do psychometry on the mask. Kind of hit it from both sides.
Nice.
Try and overwhelm it.
Then I stab him.
You might get to stab. All right.
Just putting that out there as a hypothetical.
Okay, so spirits, all right, now here we go. What am I doing? All right, so that's 5 for spirits.
the mask doesn't have on these doesn't physically exist, right?
Right.
It's sort of in the spirit realm. Do you want to try and like contact that with your psychometry, or do you want to touch their face?
I feel like touching their face would be already kind of what she's
That's what I'm doing.
So
'Cause
I'll,
I'm trying to
I'll
reach
hold
the
off.
I'm
Cheerfully
trying-
withdrawn.
Yeah, because I'm trying to reach the
Yeah, yeah.
person who like knows what
yeah.
happened
Okay.
before this became like their their
Their
affliction.
world.
Yeah. So that's 5,
Makes the chant look like a cakewalk.
7, 14.
At least with the chant, we
You
know
can use
what we're
Savior on
dealing
this if you
with.
still have it.
I do. Is that applicable? Yay. All right. Because I'm going to see if we can get enough out of him so that Eerie doesn't want to stab him. And is like, cool, this was useful.
Yes,
so
you're
I might
saving
be
Eerie
able to
always
do-
wants to stab. I feel like that's his kind of
Oh,
default
that's a good time to
mode.
play Savior.
I
Yeah.
have a lot of experience.
All right, so
Not that I
whatever
don't want you to have your vengeance. but-
whatever benefit you can draw a card, and whatever benefit Savior gives you, you can take.
It's kind of better for other things. So basically, just it lets me draw a card. Killer instincts.
No.
Candy. Let me. What can I?
Go ahead, Eerie. Shoot.
All right. Well, so what's the total?
So that was 5, 14, and 15.
15? All right, so you grab this person and you sort of are like shaking off the influence of the mask for a second. So let's say you feel like you can get like 1 or 2 concrete, useful answers out of this person before the mask spirit pushes him away.
Okay.
What do you want to ask? 2 questions.
Okay. First. I mean, the first one, I just wanted to ask a broad question because whatever's going on in his mind, I figured this is at the forefront, so I can just ask what happened to you.
He says, this is like criminal, right?
Yeah.
He says, I owed someone money, and then this happened. I owe a debt, and my debt is paid.
Who did you pay your debt to?
He says, I owed Julio the money. I don't know how this happened.
Wow. So this Julio. No. And then he's gone, basically.
Well, I mean,
after
the entity is controlling him now. Do you want to keep talking, or do you want to let him go?
if we can get more out of him. If I feel like if I can speak to a deeper part of his subconscious that doesn't just know the surface of what is going on. Shoot.
Well,
What's
Stupid entity.
you can. I mean, you're all present, so you can all speak with it. While like she's basically just like Vulcan mind bending, like holding his face with her fingers.
But it's the entity now.
Yeah, the like the sort of tangible mask sort of shifts in.
what are you
Hello, Idalia.
What are you trying to accomplish?
Just trying to do what I do best. Set up a little business. Everyone knows someone something. They're all connected by threads, strings.
Back to strings again.
There's a theory for that.
The mask, like his face is held, but the mask like turns around and sees you and says, "I thought I killed you." And then the person you're like starts like convulsing and like spitting up blood, and basically just drops dead in your hands.
Who's Julio? Do you know Julio?
He's just a money lender. That's not who we're looking for. We're looking for someone who pulls the strings.
Is there anybody here that's helping like run this criminal element? Someone that everyone else here would be connected to? It seems like it's, running through all of these people.
And it doesn't seem like he has huge plans, earth-shattering plans. He seems like he's working at such a low level.
It doesn't sound random.
No.
Well, you haven't actually traced any of the criminal element, like sort of up the actual chain of command. Do you want to try to do something like that?
Yes.
Let's get some information.
Well, that sounds like an ink thing to do. What do you want to do? Or does who wants to do what to try and find your way up
some
the
fucking
chain?
information out of people.
I'm gonna spycraft some motherfuckers.
Okay.
Ooh,
What
that's a
information
good
are you
idea.
trying to gain?
How far does this thing go?
Okay.
I can do an intellect spread of 13.
Do it. Okay, well, you find out that this like new criminal element that everyone is very aware of, but no one has much information about, has been in operation now for several months, and that there is rumors that there's some sort of control, like there's some sort of overboss that's running everything, but no one exactly knows who it is because it doesn't follow any of the traditional family lines. It doesn't follow any of the traditional cultural lines. Criminals from all walks of life, and a number of sort of associated non-criminals all seem to be taking orders from one source, which everyone says is operating out of sort of a midtown location, but no one has any real information. And for whatever reason, the authorities seem to be giving a blind eye to it.
I wonder if we need to follow the chain. We need to get to this midtown area and start looking and seeing if we can figure out what the source is.
Eerie, we're following your lead. Does that sound familiar at all?
Why not just climb a building and look for the masks?
He has a point, you know.
All right, well, let's
Although
get up high.
Can you see them as well?
No. If I could see them, it wouldn't taken me 1,000 years to find them.
So we climb.
Yep.
Can you take us to the highest point in the city that you know of?
Sure.
Okay. It takes a little bit of time to travel there, but you're able to sort of, head up these old concrete structures. Again, most of this was built through magic before magic was outlawed, whole hog everywhere. And so you're able to get up to sort of the roof. Actually has an eerie, it has an
Uncanny?
it has an uncanny resemblance to the rooftop of the fortress tower that you were on before. It has like a garden there, but obviously this is like in good standing. There's actually a few sort of, like a kid and two women are up there gardening, and they sort of notice you. You notice that one of the women is wearing like a traditional Scavi mask, and so she nods at everyone like you make sense up there. Actually, again, she's like waits for a second, like you're gonna make a deal. Okay, no, not for me. And then they basically head in to sort of leave you to your business.
Right on.
I had the fear specialty, so I'm wondering if I can maybe try and pinpoint some place where it seems like people are exiting from some building, perhaps that seem especially fearful, because I imagine whatever this person is they're dealing with must make them uncomfortable.
Okay, and do you want to look from here to try and pinpoint masks?
I do.
So you make a spirit spread, and you make a fear
that.
spread.
Okay.
Is that grace or?
Yeah, it's a
yeah.
grace spread.
And mine is
I can't make any sort of useful
Grace or
spread right now,
intellect.
so.
okay.
I mean, you probably can, but you need to tell me what you're looking for.
Well,
The most I can do right now for grace is 5, and then I get 5 for my specialty in fear.
Nothing terribly concrete comes from that, although you do sort of, you get an unusual, one of those sort of, like beating grid patterns of a city where you can sort of follow where people are moving around, and it's an interesting way to look at it, to mapping fear as you do, but it doesn't, nothing concrete comes from it.
So I can turn intellect into grace, but not the other way around. So, but I have mostly intellect.
Oh, but you can always use grace cards in support of your specialties.
Okay, thanks. All right, so it's 5 for spirits, and then that's 15. Yeah, that's it. It's 15.
15?
Kind of scope the city.
You see, it's you're quite high up, but you can feel the sort of tendrils of energy and see like a building,
The strings.
sort of downtown that is like people are going in, like masked people are going in and out, and people without masks are going in and coming out masked, and such like that.
I think I know where we should go.
Let's go.
Let's.
So, how
Why
do
do
you
you
want
have this
to
over with?
approach this place?
What is it?
It's like a almost like a manor house. It's sort of stuck between some of the like older school buildings. It definitely has the feeling of being like having been fortified. There are like bars in the windows and some of the structures, and there's people walking around on the second floor, like landing, looking out. And people are going in and out, but it definitely feels like this is like a criminal hideout here. There's a definite seedy element, and it feels like there are a fair amount of men with crossbows and swords that are ready to defend it.
I think we need to try to find a side way in rather than the front.
Any house like this is going to have underground escape routes.
Is there any one of us that can pass themselves off as kind of a criminal? I mean, maybe you. To kind
Not
of see
it.
to see what the dealings are when you go inside.
Well, and then the hood comes down, and using something that I touched on kind of last time, which I would argue is probably skill specialty, deception. There's kind of a face that comes into. Well, actually, it takes a minute because there's like a lot of little pieces of different faces coming into like shape, and then there's kind of a generally criminal-looking face that appears.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is new.
This do?
I think so.
All right.
All right, you'll need to make a deception spread to sort of pass without notice as you head in, but
Okay.
Are you going in alone?
I think perhaps. I think the rest of you, with the exception of Eerie, might draw too much attention. If we're trying to use subterfuge,
With our bond, we might be able to stay in contact with you.
I believe so. Unfortunately, I need to use a redraw.
I'm sorry, everybody.
God, hog it.
All right, so with my +5 from my deception specialty, that's 5. I can do 13, just straight up.
okay. You feel like you've deceived these random mortals as you sort of head in.
Hello, random mortals.
This is definitely, there are sort of there's like basically what you would imagine in your average sort of drug nest. There's like people like cutting some sort of root that they must sell, and then there's other people like sort of changing money. But you sort of walk in like you belong there, and your magic is a little better than just your appearance. Like you look a little bit enough like everyone thinks you should, that you
Hey,
don't arise
fellow
suspicion.
criminal.
And there's clearly like a sort of a central audience chamber where there must be, where Mr. Big or whatever would be.
Where the boss battle is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Then I'm going to make my way there.
Okay.
Kind of relaying psychically to y'all what I see along the way.
Maybe look for other entrances so we can get in.
Do you want to try underground or a side entrance?
I'm going to go look because I'm sure there's been a lot of ducking in the sewers and stuff like that. So I'm going to try and find a sewer access point to get in.
Sure. I'll also say you can do that. But it's not a very comfortable experience for Mac, but you can definitely. Varya is just a little bit too big to be crawling through this sewer.
I'm sure it smells great.
Yeah. You
What a wonderful smell you just smelled.
don't take references that Mike could make.
No, please. I don't want to be the only one.
So you're able to push in, but like obviously any entrance to the house at some point would either be noticed or risk it. So
Also, I imagine that as we're moving through the
think I just wanna
den,
be
the mountains
nearby.
kind of probably having some sort of reaction.
he's aware. He's been here. He doesn't remember exactly. It's hard once you become an attendant spirit
Sure,
to remember
yeah.
facts. But this is definitely a place that he and the thing that took control of him have been spending a lot of time.
Okay.
He sort of has a slight version of Idalia's sort of eye for these masks, and he feels like everyone here is controlled by the entity.
Okay.
Are the masks connected by visible spirit lines?
Not to Idalia, if they are. So, I mean, there's all kinds of places you can go in here. There are weapon racks. But
I burst through the sewers.
brought to you by Weapon Racks. Convenient weapon organization since forever. Or you can head into sort of the main audience chamber or whatever, or you can... like, there are people, like, going in and out of there, you know, sometimes bringing in goods and resources. Occasionally, like, non-criminal types are being let in, and they head in there. And then they come back out with sort of, you know...
Kind of on your own, pal.
Can you ask one of I'm
undercover.
communicating? Can you ask one of them if there's something that you need? Well, like what they've been needing. You have a debt.
Yes.
Something.
Yes. Well, I was actually going to propose that I do an observation check to see if I could find like the way to come in.
Meaning what?
We'll try to find. Spend a minute looking around, finding like the underground entrance to suggest to them. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you could go down to the lower levels and try and find like where that is.
Yeah, that's my first goal.
Okay. It's relatively, again, your deception is pretty solid, so you're able to move around. No one really stops you.
Okay.
And you get down to sort of one of the lower levels of the building, and there's a sort of access point into the city sewers there.
Come in through the sewers. Over.
They're like on the other side of it when you say that.
Sure.
So,
You sound like an idiot.
You didn't say over.
Over, asshole.
We should.
And I wait for them, so that way we can all kind of sneaky get up there together.
We should find the conversion room.
Yeah. I'll head in alone first. I have a feeling you'll know if something goes wrong. Is that acceptable?
We'll be here.
okay.
What else can we do?
Well, we could just run in screaming. That's worked before.
Maybe not this time.
You do you.
Yeah. We've got the subtlety working for us with you right now. Let's just go with that for a minute.
All right.
Let's just try.
Picture he looks kind of like vaguely like Vincent D'Onofrio with a little bit of Adrian Brody right now. Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever.
It's a lot of
Take your
face for one
composite
person.
face and just go find shit out, dude.
So you head up. Where do you want to go from upstairs?
I'm gonna go into the conversion chamber
Okay.
or the main audience room.
So this is what must have been this like manor house's like main sort of either eating chamber or something. It's like there's no trappings of that anymore. There's just basically like a sort of high back chair, and it's like several criminals sort of moving back and forth, and all around the room are like just people standing against the wall, maybe about 25 of them, just sort of standing there, just sort of staring forward. And as you enter, what was the name of your child friend?
Karios.
A child who you will recognize as Karios, but with the sort of, you know, the white porcelain mask, sort of walks out from, you know, like another area and goes, Ink. It took you long enough.
Cover's blown.
Who are you?
Just someone looking to make a deal. Make a deal that can make everyone's life a little bit better.
What deal is that?
Well, what can I say? I like to pull strings. My job is to be the one at the top, pulling all the strings. And there are different types of strings. People have all kinds of different connections. Everyone's tied to something.
Oh no.
And most people are tied to their debts. So for me, the easiest way to pull people's strings is to pull their debts.
Oh God, I hate it.
But it's a little sexy, right?
Yeah, no, it's great. It's
in case you care, although not currently controlling a woman, that's the monster. He's not floating either currently. He's just walking around. It was unfortunate that you dispensed with my friend. He was so useful. I doubt I'll be able to do that again.
Well,
In the end, he wanted something too.
what did he want?
you can sort of like feel like the attendant spirit like shift to the other side of your head, like it doesn't want the answer.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be in control. Some people are afraid of control. Some people's debt is some people's need something that money can't sustain. And sometimes that means someone else calling the shots. And in the end, that was his problem. Although, as you go, I doubt it will be his problem again. A few days from now, he'll have grown so much stronger. Maybe you will too.
Not okay.
Where are your friends?
They're where they need to be.
Hold on. And like down to the sewer entrance, like, and it's one of the criminals, but with the white mask. We're having a conversation upstairs, and you're late. And I'm like, and the criminal's like, oh, you're supposed to come upstairs. The best part about controlling people with debt, or basically controlling people at all, is that you don't have to go in there and run them yourself. You just basically have to guide them. They do the heavy lifting. You just sort of point them in the right direction.
What happens if all your strings are severed?
Well, it hasn't happened yet.
Perhaps we should find out.
Oh, look, it's grown claws. It's ironic to say that to you. By the way, like as you're walking, like the upstairs, like the occasional person will hurry up. This is so boring.
Ink's really
The
not
giant
that
like
needed.
wolf claw on that.
Your Pyrean steel claws.
Yeah.
Oh
got
man,
that
I was
going
just
on
I was just
tonight,
noticing that I can
actually.
like hear your nails when you go like this. Like imagine Varya is like it's like someone's like shaking a silverware drawer whenever you go. So the puppeteer goes and sits in the chair. And waits. Well, not really waits, but like as the conversation progresses, the three of you arrive. You're not supposed to be here.
Neither are you.
I think we could probably have quite the contest as to who's the most unnatural. And I'll be the first to say that I have perhaps perverted my mission, but you've perverted time and space. I mean, more so than normal.
Mission?
Well, all of us fallen have something we're supposed to do. Mine was just smaller. I've scaled myself up. I appreciate the irony of saying that in the body of an 8-year-old, but I have made myself significantly greater than I used to be. And maybe I'm no enemy of yours.
What do you
Ah.
mean?
What are you offering?
I'm just saying, I tend to keep things quiet, keep things orderly. You'd be surprised what can happen when there's someone in charge of pulling all the strings. And all I'm doing is helping people pay their debts. After a while, I let them go. I mean, providing, of course, their debts aren't too great. I think you've seen what happens if they stay with me for too long.
What about the debt that you owe me, Karios?
I wondered what would happen if I pulled that string. I wondered if your marshals would send someone to visit me. I thought it would take them much longer. In fact, I thought it would take you much longer to come back. See, that's the thing about being what I am versus being what you are. It's kind of like a first date. See, the guy is always nervous because he doesn't know how it's going to go. But the girl knows how it's going to play out. In this scenario, in our date, I'm the girl. And I knew exactly how it was going to play out. I'm borrowing that from a movie, which is very good. I knew exactly what would happen when I killed you. Although I wasn't exactly sure you'd become this melting 8-year-old monstrous. But I mean, I was close. I hit the target. All I'm saying is that your pitiful council of marshals and I don't have to be necessarily at odds.
What are you suggesting?
Leave me the city, and I'll keep it safe. I have a way of protecting it. I certainly won't let any of the dread in here. And no matter how much you want to tie those particular threads together, the dread and the fallen are not the same. Ooh, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, maybe if the dread can reach out and touch you, it can reach out and touch me. But I think we both know that that dark side of us has nothing to do with the dread. It was there all along. After all, you make a creature designed to make people pay their debts, and where do you think it's going to go?
You got greedy.
I was always greedy. I just got smart.
I've had 3,000 years to think about my debts. It is time to collect.
I can't wait.
All right.
Does someone want to take the torch, or do you want to...
I feel like Eerie has to.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
All right, so
the
there's a
combat.
number.
To it.
Yep, there's a number of hollow here. Thankfully, you don't have a Durant Phoenix to deal with either. But there's a number of hollow, and there's the puppeteer. Let's see here. Oh, actually, we need to get some environmental objects. But let's do another. What does chat think? Chat, what objects would be in this room in a crime boss's den?
And the crime boss is also an 8-year-old.
Well, he's currently controlling an 8-year-old. He's not. He wasn't just an 8-year-old. That'd be really weird if it was like. I think candy is the #1 resource.
A pile of candy.
Speaking of, can I have a pack of those M&Ms? Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Well, of course, because there are criminals here, there's a weapon rack. Because
With criminal weapons.
Ooh, underworld weapons, my favorite.
Brain says case of cocaine. We'll make that we'll make that vials of drugs.
Yeah. Same difference. Oh no.
Unconscious prostitutes. Yep. Sure.
Okay.
Why not?
Oh,
Oh, you're gonna protect them, aren't you?
you know. If it's handy, yeah. If
The,
not, I understand what needs to be done.
We'll specify based on the dynamics of this this particular encounter that the KO'd
KO'd.
prostitutes are full on out. A hula hoop?
The one before that.
Sure.
Oh.
A hula hoop?
Illustrious furniture is very good.
You know, for kids.
I see what
Hi, I
you
can
did.
make references. You're not the only one.
I don't want to be the only one. I was just on a roll.
Let's see. An accountant? Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Does he have an abacus? Because I can do a lot with some abacuses. Abaci?
Ben Affleck, what are you doing here?
Oh, well, it'd be
Did we pluralize abacuses before? I feel like we pluralized abacuses in another episode.
abacus fin.
Well, I had a bunch of abacuses or abacusi
All right.
or whatever they are that I shoved into people.
We did. Okay.
Because I can make anything a weapon.
I think we landed on abaci.
Okay.
But
Oh, full bar. And you want to talk about cinematic.
There you go. A wilted lackey is good, but we're at now you guys are gonna have to pay.
Huh?
illustrious furniture.
Just say words. Can you get
I
one of those
can't
drinks
understand.
there?
Which would you like?
Oh.
Oh, now I get where you're going with that.
Would you like
It looked like person walking.
more of the same?
That was
Yeah.
like into your hands, like it touched your hands and I threw it and you couldn't
the
catch
usual
it.
bub.
Yep.
Why are you guys terrible at catching packets of things?
Thick next henchman. That's good too.
Okay, toss me one. Let's see how we're at.
Will somebody, one of you owners of a
Cool.
opener, open that? Oh, we got it over here.
I'm not the only one.
I'm gonna get one now. I used to have one. I don't know where it went off to.
Candy.
Okay, so
He's been
Eerie, you have
hoarding
the torch.
Yeah.
Kill things a lot.
Get it.
I'm bolting over to the bar and just start flinging bottles of alcohol at him.
At the puppeteer.
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna mark it.
Oh, yeah.
Mark it off. Draw a card from the action.
I can set them on fire. Oh.
Okay. Shoot. And terrifying to stun him. 8. 9. 12. 12.
12. Okay. The bottles crash into the sort of child form, And he puts his hands up and blocks it. And he has a defensive 8. So he takes, actually, that does no damage.
What?
His wound levels are 5. So
can I burn a spark? too?
Yeah, give me a spark. That's 1. Boom. One wound level down. All right. We got one more of you before the baddies.
I think Mac wants it.
Well, yeah. Smashy. All right. Do you guys care? Do you prefer if I go after the hollows or the small child
Oh.
with the weapon rack?
I'd
'Cause-
say go for the hollows. I feel like the small child is Eerie's.
all right. Well, will
Well.
someone please cross off weapon rack for me? Ugh. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and use power from pain because I'm still kind of fucked up from stuff earlier. And then I'm gonna go ahead and lay down. And then throw that guy in there. So let's see, you got 9, and then so this.
I'm going to create an app that just calculates damage for Mac.
right? I
Like, 'cause you do
I think
so
I need
much.
it. So 4, and then that's 8 plus 8, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21.
Doesn't Power from Pain give you your wounds again, or does that already calculate that?
I added that in.
Okay. You'll take out 2 of them for that, because
Okay.
the weapons rack is so big, and you do enough to clear through 2 of them. So you take out 2 full ones, and they neither of them get their parting shot on you because they're basically just a big twisted mass of weaponry and BS. But after that, the puppeteer and some of the hollows go. So hollow attacks there and there. That's 12. And the puppeteer is going to attack you. That is an attack of 14.
I can do 13 for defense.
You're fine.
Okay.
Must be nice. All right.
You're telling
It
me
is actually quite nice. Thank you. Thank you for appreciating that.
Sure.
I get a whole 1 card.
Ah.
Unless you activate the Shadow Wolf ability,
That's
and
right.
then I get more.
Oh, which reminds me, you might as well put on your horror movie teleport at some point because this is the last big fight,
All right.
and they paid for it. And don't think for a second I'm going to let you get out of this mission without having to push you back. A very apropos use of Eye of the Storm.
Yep. That's all I got.
Okay, not enough. He basically like a tendril of energy made of the same sort of material you see of the ethereal masks, like reaches out and hits you. Take 1 wound, and you are exposed.
Bah.
And
Got it.
so I get 2 defense cards. So with my thought coil, there's 2. That's 7.
2 wounds.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Actually, can I use Death Wish and jump in front of that?
Yeah, sure. You're gonna take both wounds.
That's fine.
All right. Boom.
Hopefully you can help me out with this, but
Love
I do
you.
more damage when I'm beat
All
up,
right.
but don't let me die.
So this side of the table has yet to act.
Okay. I'd kind of like to go, actually.
I mean, if you let me die, whatever.
Yeah. I'll do what I can.
I'll be
Oh, and
more wolfy when I die.
unless it is
Oh, I do get to draw cards
clearly
and I
useless,
get wins, so.
Mountain throws a spark into every attack you make going forward,
Okay.
and he'll burn himself out that way if the opportunity presents itself.
All right. So I'm flipping over Dream Shatter to become hidden.
Okay.
And I have an
And
ability, so
I'm
I
kind of
will-
wading through the crowd of the hollows, and I get over to your friend, and I put my hands squarely on the mask using psychometry, and I say, "You've already given us your purpose. Now let us relieve you of your debt."
Ooh.
Using psychometry, I'm burning 2 sparks to make him vulnerable for the rest of the scene.
Nice. All right. I believe
so
is that vulnerable or exposed?
It's vulnerable.
Okay. Is that a thing? That must be a thing.
It is a thing.
All right. We'll find out.
I'd like to ask you all to contribute a spark for the Heart of the Wing.
Oh, okay. Makes
Okay,
brutal damage.
that's all right.
Can I do an extra one for her, or
Does it say 1 or?
does everyone have to do one, or?
When you use this card, draw 1 card. So I should do that. Each of your wingmates may burn 1 spark to add 3 to the value of your spread.
So you can only do one, but you don't have to do one.
This isn't for me to help take
Yeah.
wounds later.
Yeah,
so-
go ahead and hold on to yours.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 7 for my attack right there.
Okay.
And then Mountain's burning another one there. So 12. 12 is my total attack.
12. You need a spark. You can take one from the mountain if you want.
Okay.
That's one more level off of him.
Okay.
Well done. He like the mask seems to crack under the. Oh wait, no, you don't. Take the spark back for the mountain. It was brutal damage because he was vulnerable.
Okay.
So you're fine. Yeah, so the donation just went through. P.S. You might want to look at the yeah, that little the flaming D20. It's not going to be the Revelo one. It's going to be the other donations page. But I saw it in the chat. Got to have an eagle eye for those things. We should keep that up longer. Okay, so all right. So you blast him for that. He sort of staggers back, and like the sort of like pained look that he has like turns back into a smile, and he says, "Very good. I hadn't thought you had it in you. Go ahead."
All right.
So ready to hit this one.
If everybody's kind of like brute strength, I'm going to try something a little experimental and try to get.
Brute strength. I'm using my
know.
unique
style.
style.
No, that was like.
I'm writing a beautiful narrative of our battle.
It was innovative. It was gorgeous. I loved it. I'm gagging. Okay, but on top of that, with that, inspired by that, I'm gonna see what I can do to make the entity's host a little bit have some trouble. So I'm going to take the vials of drugs and just pour it down this kid's throat. Just try to like alter him.
Talk
so
about
that,
innovative, yeah.
So that maybe he
Yo.
can't operate quite as well.
All right. And you're on both donations pages?
Yeah.
Interesting. Hold on. James V, why don't you tell me what you did in chat? Because for some reason it's not coming through on our side, which I think might have been what happened exactly last time too. We had a couple of donations that just didn't show up. So James V, just put it in chat and I'll see it for now.
So
I trust you.
I can draw as I'm doing this to kind of help boost this a little bit, maybe? Or
No,
actually, I only
what are
get
you
two.
drawing from? Oh, well, you draw one from the vial of drugs.
Yeah. See, that's a little better. Okay. So I only get 2 cards in my attack because of my current combat style. So that's 7. Maybe I can throw in intuitive as like I'm, thinking that these drugs are actually really useful to kind of like make him maybe talk and give us more information, but not completely knock him out.
Okay. I see that, James V. Thank you. Night Steeds, I don't see you either. Let me, hold on one second here. I think when I know what happened, I will run to the back of the computer while you were figuring this out.
So I think that's 8.
Gesundheit.
Excuse me. Thank you.
That's about all there is to figure out.
All right, well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm so ready to smash some shit though. I got some good cards.
Oh, good. Okay.
It's that time.
Good.
Sorry. We are happy to have you with us operating, but that machine is quirky and I couldn't possibly have prepared you for all of it. Okay. Night Steed, I'm going to let you redirect that flare because I'm going to take James's version of the same one. So, Night Steed, pick a new flare target. You know what? Can you copy those both into the chat window though for me so I know what it is? And good. And we'll be moving on from there. But so what'd you come up with total?
8.
Okay. I'm gonna say that you managed to push all the way through and like get through his defense. So you manage to get the drugs down his throat, and you can see it's sort of like he's like trying to shake it off. And I'm going to give him the exposed condition, which is going to reduce his defense, and I'm also going to stun him.
So wait, he's exposed and vulnerable and stunned?
Yeah.
Ooh.
So what do you get for inhabiting a child body?
Okay.
Why did you direct that to me?
I'm just saying, you were the one who pointed out all of those things.
Fair enough.
Yeah, just what I'm interested in is in Nightsteed's initial donation. I think I know there's a pack of redraws in there, so there's 3 from Nightsteed. Thank you, Nightsteed.
Thank you. Fab.
Mac, you get the familiar prickle on the back of your back of your neck, where you have strep throat. No, where you
Great.
no, not strep throat, shadow wolf. I get those two confused. So
Thank you.
The shadow like sort of pulls off your fur into a full-on animate shadow wolf. Mike, you unhinge from time, so you are everywhere and nowhere, which is fantastic, which is good because you're dealing with a bunch of mass enemies. And I think Solar Flare, that's the one I'm forgetting. Solar Flare hits as well. So
cool.
all of your flares are up, including yours, because of the one that we had from last
fabulous.
week.
Thank
so
you, chat.
the whole flare.
Thank you.
And that's why this stuff works.
Yes.
And thank you so much for those donations. Sorry they're a little rocky today. I really do feel like the whole system's a little bit off today.
Yeah.
I don't know why. What's that?
No.
No, it's not.
Cursed.
Because if trust me, if it was you, I'd know. But I'm watching the chat, and it's just like a little bit delayed more than we get. So it might just be. It's been pissy for like a week. I think that it's all those Amazon people showing up. Thanks. Did you guys know that you can subscribe to a free channel if you have Amazon Prime?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
good to know.
Twitch Prime. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can go and subscribe to like a paid Twitch channel, and Amazon just gives the money to the Twitch subscriber. So it's not like it's just free. They actually, that person gets paid. I think they mentioned it like halfway through Critical Role last week, and we got like 50 billion subscribers. So yeah, we are not a partner yet, so you can't contribute yet to us, but you can certainly do it to some of your favorite Twitch channels, which is cool.
Fabulous.
Anyway, that's why I think they suddenly got like way more users than they're used to. Okay, so that was both of you on that side. The puppeteer is stunned, so no action from him this turn, although he will act between the next 2 phoenixes. The hollows are going to attack, however. And actually, we're just going to go ahead and put one on all of you. This is a defense 12.
Yeah, boy.
I am very happy for Shadow Wolf right
Yeah.
now.
I can do 9.
9,
Yeah.
1 wound.
Okay.
I can do 7.
2 wounds.
I have superhuman reflexes. I don't know if you're going to let that help at all.
Of course. Someone's trying to punch you. Superhuman reflexes are exactly what you want.
So that gives me a total of 8 right now.
Draw from superhuman reflexes, and I'll make superhuman reflexes 3 in this circumstance. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, which is just 1, which is.
Do I get a +2 from Shadow Wolf though? I mean, it's
Oh, you
an
do.
extra card,
Yeah,
but I get the
you're
+2
good.
as
Yeah,
well.
so you're entirely fine.
Hey, thank you.
Yay!
Normally I would have taken wounds from that.
I honestly think like a fanfare and like confetti should fly through the chat whenever Mac successfully defends.
Yeah, you did hardly ever happen.
What do you got, Eerie?
I gotta redraw because I
Okay.
got crap. That's helpful.
Wait.
I'll just use it as a regular card to draw. 7. Yep, 7.
7.
I'm sorry. 9.
1 wound. All right, new round. Who wants to torch?
May I?
May I?
Oh, may I? Let's go ahead and cross off some of the furniture there because I'm just going to pick up the fainting couch that I've decided is there and use that as something to wall up
Okay.
hollows with.
All right.
Using crude but effective.
Yeah.
No.
What?
This is not a fine-pointed fainting couch.
Yes. So that gives me 5 plus another 7. So that gives me 12 plus another 4, 16. 14, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
That's 2 more. And again, you do so in such a way that they don't get parting shots at you because you knock them across the room.
And I actually do brutal damage right now because I'm so.
Yeah, they're well dead.
Okay, just double checking just in case.
Oh yeah, no worries there. The puppeteer is next, and he is going to attempt to psychic lash you. It's an all or nothing attack. 14. That's you, Mac.
For me. Shadow Wolf helps me, but only to a certain point. I don't really have anything good to defend with right now. I had my really good defense in that last round.
Well, if you don't have it, don't spend it because it's an all or nothing.
Yeah, I definitely don't have that much.
So it's 1 wound and you're exposed. Which drags you back. The good news is you lose exposed if you kill an enemy. So all you have to do is
card draw from that, which is good.
yeah, all you have to do is kill a hollow and you'll be back to 2 defense cards again. All right, who's next? Hollows are after this.
I'll take it. But I need to use a
Although,
couple
can
of
I go
these.
ahead and burn 2 sparks to give them a fear condition?
To give the
Who attacked me?
the puppeteer. Does it have to be a melee attack?
You're struck by an attack. You burn 2 sparks to give
Oh,
the attacker
go ahead, yeah.
a burning condition.
Yep.
Right. Using 2 redraws because I got nothing.
Happens.
Okay. So I'm.
Oh, and also remember you can use environmental objects in defense.
Believe me, that's what I'm doing. So I am ducking behind the chaotic prostitutes after pulling away from Basky McMasterton. If somebody wants to cross it off for me.
Yep.
And then I'm going to immediately leap back on him and start writing like the end, the end, the end, the end, the end.
Okay.
So since I'm hidden, I get +4 with Dream Shadow. I'm using this as intelligence.
What do you have?
So that's 9 right there. I'm using 13.
Okay.
And then that's 17, 18.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I got.
All right. You easily, sort of rub him out of existence with your many things, and the mask sort of cracks and shatters and falls down, and there's sort of a moment of peace, but the hollow are still up.
Okay.
And one of the hollow on the other side of the room turns around with the mask on and says like, "Oh, no, no, no. There are more strings than that, Ink." And so that takes a hollow out of the scene, but it adds the puppet master back in.
Yikes.
So the hollow are out. I'm only going to make 2 hollow attacks. I'll be kind to this one. Who has full hands?
I do.
I do, but I still suck at defense.
I don't, and I suck at defense.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean I necessarily go all the way down either. So I'm just saying.
I'll give it to Eerie and Ink. Both get an attack of 12.
Yeesh.
I can do 6.
Okay.
So that's how many?
That's gonna still be 2 wounds.
Okay.
I got 8.
You got 11. Or yeah, you got 11.
Ooh.
No, you have to defend like this, jerk.
Duck? I
can't-
know that.
You can't normally burn sparks on defense, but Mountain will burn a spark through that action to make it a full 12, so you're fine, Eerie.
Oh, yeah.
Because Mountain sees you as being, the person to take
Useful.
down. Yep. All right, so who is up next?
Did I go with the drugs on this one? At the same round, so.
That
Yeah.
means it's got to be you.
Top of the round again?
I'm going to teleport right in front of him and
You
just
hadn't gone yet.
stab. He killed me in the first life by just stabbing me straight in the chest. So I'm just pop up right in front of him and just.
Okay.
I thought you hadn't gone yet.
Yeah, I can't remember if the drugs was this round or last one, but
I
I
thought
thought
it
it
was
was this round.
I thought it was last round.
Can you grab me a D6 from that box? I don't know where my gravity dice are today.
They're right here.
Oh, I need a D6.
5,
So
11.
close right now. Would not be be the worst.
14. 14.
14.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and can you roll that on the see if you can keep it on that. Okay. You do a strength 14 attack to Varya.
Oh.
You thought it was the puppet master, but the puppeteer. But as you strike her, you realize that when he hit you with a psychic lash, he confused your mind.
God damn it.
I can hardly defend against that, so.
Oh my god.
So yeah, so you like all of a sudden like he's stabbing you in the
You want to
chest.
talk about fucking bitter death? However,
We
Yeah.
can burn sparks to remove wounds because of the magic, though, right?
Yeah, you can burn 4 sparks to push a wound down.
I could, or I could use my new talent, and
Okay.
then this is how I go again.
Okay,
Because I like bitter deaths, and that's pretty fucking bitter.
sounds good.
Oh my god.
However,
It's gonna
okay.
not look good on your
All
next
right, now I'm
review
gonna-
when they're like, "Wait, did you attack a wingmate and then another wingmate killed you?"
Yeah. Okay, so this is new, so I have to figure out how to use it. I have Vigor Mortis. So when I die, I set aside all my lessons and remove all the traits from my hand and the deck and discard pile and draw up to my draw limit and then flip this card over. So my attack is strength and it's 4 cards. Defense is none, but I burn 1 spark for each wound I suffer. Treat every action in your deck as if it were a strength card of the same value. Burn 1 spark every time you take a turn or every time you make a spread when you're not in combat. You're destroyed at dawn or you run out of sparks. So basically, I'm an animated corpse.
Okay.
So I have to take out all my trait cards, but it means I can put down 4 strength cards per attack and continue fighting.
Yep. Okay. Good.
But I'm essentially dead.
Okay. So you see like the fire burn out from behind Varya's eyes for a second. As by the way, she gets even wolfier as you stab her, and then in a really annoying / scary moment, like one of the Pyrean steel claws comes back up and like puts its hand on your shoulder, and then she snaps back into it, and she's like all grayscale now, but she's full on wolf, but also dead. You want to say something before you while you have him at arm's reach?
God damn it, Eerie!
Sorry.
On the other side of the room, the puppeteer.
Was it Dr. Hibbert?
Sometimes it's worth being alive, or whatever it is I am.
Oh.
All right, and he is next, so he is going to bop Ink for a strength 14 attack.
I can't defend.
Okay, take a wound and be exposed. And also be aware of what just happened last time someone got hit by him. Oh, Mac, you've shaken the exposed condition by being dead.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you.
So you're fine. All right, so it's a new round, though, so...
I didn't think I was going to die tonight.
it happens to the best of us.
Shadow Wolf helped for a while, though. Thank
You still have it.
Thank you. It doesn't mean anything. I can't defend.
I'll give you a defend of 1.
Okay.
Yeah, the Shadow Wolf still gets in the way.
Okay, cool.
The chat paid to keep you up. They'll do their best.
Fair enough. Animated, creepy werewolf corpse.
I'll take the torch, but really all I need to do is draw back up because I can't do anything.
You can burn sparks on your turn to push your wounds down.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So
That's a good
take the
idea.
torch. So there's 4.
You can burn sparks from Mountain, too, to do it if you want.
Bye,
Take up
Mountain.
2 wounds.
Okay. All right. Mountain whispers on the way out, he didn't want to go with me.
Right, and that's my turn, so I'm drawing back up.
All right.
Oh, sure, now I can make an attack.
The Hollow are next. They're going to attack Eerie. No, where are you at with cards? You got a hand?
Yeah, I got a hand.
They're going to attack Eerie, and they're going to attack you, Ink. Oh, I just crossed them out and they did that. No, they didn't die for doing so.
12?
It's 12. It's always 12.
I can only do 5.
Okay, take 2 wounds.
Just took off.
Well, that's better than you being dead.
It's true.
There's already one of us who's dead right now, so.
Yeah,
But-
At least I don't have to be intended spirit. I don't have to be in your fucking head. Anybody's head.
wouldn't that be the worst?
Braid is concerned that Varya won't be able to speak when she comes back. She'll be so wolfy, which I kind of love. What do you got?
I got 13.
13. You're more
Sounds
than
a lot
fine.
like Frontier
then,
gibberish.
Is that
Attack
13 back
back.
to them? All right. I'll take one all the way out for that, and so he doesn't get a parting shot because it sort of doesn't work that way.
Oh, yeah, she's gonna be fucked up when she comes back.
All right. Was that a donation that just went through? Check that donation page. Might need to refresh it. Okay.
But I'm still up.
All right. I think the only one who hasn't. Actually, it's a fresh round, so any of you can go.
I can hit stuff still.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Oh.
Here.
Every card in my hand counts as a strength card right now.
Hit some stuff.
And I can lay down 4.
Because I'm at a loss right now.
Definitely
Okay.
hit some stuff.
There
You
are
got the
2
torch.
more hollow in this room, and the puppeteer.
Okay. How fucked up is the puppeteer looking?
The puppeteer is fresh because this is the new puppeteer from that. Like he jumped to a hollow when you killed the other body.
Shit. I guess I'll go.
Oh, Mike, remember when you attack, you hit everyone in the room right now.
Okay.
I'm guessing my wounds don't count, or do they count? Because it would be normally like Savage Might is when you have more wounds than remaining health levels, all your attacks
It said-
inflict brutal damage.
It said all your traits get turned down, don't they?
All of the traits.
And does it
But,
say lessons or what?
but this is actually a talent. When I have more wounds than remaining health levels, all of your attacks
Well,
inflict brutal damage.
What does the other side of that card say though? The one that
When
you
you're
flip-
injured, burn 1 spark for each wound
No,
you
flip
suffer.
back. I mean, it told you to do something on the front side. Sorry.
It said set aside all of your other lessons and traits.
Yeah. So your
So-
lessons and traits
So
are
all
turned
that
over.
stuff's all right, but I still get to do my shit.
Mm-hmm.
Does my talent still count?
Yeah, your talent's still up.
All right. Well, to hit, I have to burn a spark. I'm gonna go ahead and lay down that.
Okay.
So let's see. That's 8, and then another 6 is 18.
Okay. You 18 is fine. So that is going to be 2 wound levels off the puppeteer.
Okay.
Puppeteer is next. He is going to bop Eerie. That's a defense 14.
Okay.
It's a ranged attack.
This is the all or nothing? Mm-hmm. Balls. Oh.
At least we might all die together.
Speak for yourselves. I'm already dead. I love this power already. It's beautiful. I've been dying to use it.
Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, brother.
No.
I've been waiting for this power since rank 2.
She gets zanier every death. Have you noticed that?
I have.
I don't mind it.
14 or 12?
It's 14 for his attack.
Let's see. 8, 10, 13. For reals?
Can't spark a defense. You could put him over, and it will just come back to you at the top of your round.
If I'm using Survivor, so
Okay.
I can burn 2 to prevent the damage.
Oh.
Will that stop the?
Yes, that'll stop the effect.
Okay.
So yeah.
And I can only give him 1 right now.
All right.
I'm just like, I'm gonna.
Wait a minute. If that's the case, then I can do this and
Okay.
then
Yeah.
burn it.
Yeah. Sure.
Meh.
Oh.
Yeah,
All right.
so you're fine. Well, you get hit, but you hold off against the effects.
Yeah.
All right, who's next?
I think that's all that's left. All right, I'm gonna need to draw. Because I got nothing. I might have to try something kind of stupid.
Oh,
but
good.
Novel.
Do
If
it.
everybody's down for that, cool.
Yeah,
All right.
Yes.
we're trying to fast track you out of here anyway. You're trying to rank up.
Hopefully that's not what it leads to, but probably.
Well, you know.
So I'm going to see if I can use some diplomacy here. I'm going to get his accountant and be like, all right, you like debts? You know, you want money, greed's your big thing. What would it cost for you to lay off all these people? How much is enough? Like, how much do you see yourself making that satisfies this need? Or is it, and so I get the accountant.
So you're trying to ask the accountant.
Well, I'm asking the puppeteer with
Okay.
the accountant's help.
Okay.
I'm like, he can help tap in.
Oh, so you want the accountant to let everyone out of their debt,
I'm
and
just
how much
like,
did it cost?
If this is what it is, if greed is his whole thing, does he have a price? Because I can't. There's not much I can attack with, and so I'm gonna try to
Make
see
a very
if-
high diplomacy check.
And maybe if he's not about the dread too, maybe he can help us, like he said. Maybe there's some price he can, you know.
Okay.
So for diplomacy, that's I've got 5 diplomacy from this. And I don't know how noble this is.
It's noble. It's noble.
Okay.
It's going to be noble. You're going to find out.
All right, let's save some lives. It's like, what do you need? I don't even have enough to like make a 3 spread. I'll just and mysterious because I'm so curious about this now. Like this is his whole, you know. Well, anyway, I could go on, but you know what I'm saying. Whatever. So that's 5, 9, 10, 11. That's about it. Wait, and yeah, no, that's like
Okay.
that's it.
Here's what he'll tell. He'll like combat basically essentially stops. Like you know the hollow stay back. He says, "Oh, it's interesting. I didn't think I'd get a chance at another one of you. Well, I'd be more than happy to let all the people in all the people that I have that owe me all together, or all the people in this room, or all the what number of people are we talking about? Remember, you got an 11.
Oh. I'm asking what it's worth to you to leave these people alone and
Again, I understand what you want. I just need to know how many people we're talking about. Remember, this is all about who owes what to whom. So how many debtors do you want me to...
A deal with the fallen is never a fair deal.
I'm just asking a question. 50.
50. All right. And would you absorb their debts?
No deal.
Remember what you learned from the mountain before you make that choice.
He didn't want to go alone? Or he didn't want to go with him?
Oh.
What was it he said?
He didn't want to
So
go
if
with
you
me.
bind him to him and then die, will that kill him?
That it sounds like it won't. You wouldn't go with me.
Oh God.
Well, you could burn out. Like if you got bound to him, you could burn out, and then he couldn't stop you. I
Or
mean,
would he go with you?
you could take him into your crucible.
Could I?
You'd have to burn your last 3 sparks, and you'd also have to agree to his deal.
Can I know the deal before I agree?
The deal, I mean, you know the deal. If you agree to their debts, then you'll owe me, and they won't.
I don't like this one. I mean, it's exciting and all. Oh my. I'll owe you. What will I owe you?
You'll owe me what they owe me.
It's not worth it.
I'm hearing this is a bad idea.
No deal.
No. And yet no one seems to be able to take him out. Oh, you're not even the dread. It's not fair.
It's your choice, but make it soon.
We
Hi,
got
everybody. Sorry.
we gotta keep fighting.
God. No, this is just everyone. I need to trust my wing and avoid this. I just wanted to know what would make you stop. No deal.
All right, fair enough. Good times, though. give her a break, and you see the hollow like are going to spend a few rounds not attacking you, and say that was your action. The hollow are next, however, which means that Mac and so Varya and Eerie both have to make a defense of 12.
I can't really. I mean,
You can put down 1.
yeah.
That's 3. Okay. You guys can benefit that though if you want to put down against that spread.
I will.
I mean, worst case is I take wounds and I have to burn sparks, and so it's the faster I burn out and the less I can hit as a reanimated werewolf corpse.
I can draw back up now, right?
Yeah. You
After that
turn it in.
stress case. All right.
Because I can still hit a lot.
Okay.
I got nothing.
You gonna take the wounds?
Well, I mean, I can't help her.
Oh wait, no, it's him.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you got?
It has to be a last resort.
I got 12.
You're fine.
And I can. Oh, okay.
No, she's not fine.
And then attack back.
I can give you 4
Okay.
now that I'm rank 4, actually.
So that gives me 7 total.
7. All right, so that's gonna be 2 sparks because it's 2 wounds, right?
Yes, sir.
Well done there. And I'll say you take 1 out, Eerie. So now there's just the puppeteer and 1 more body in this room.
Are we top of the round? What's happening?
Well, who's gone so far this passing of the torch?
I don't think I have.
I think mine was the last one from the
All right,
last
so it's
round.
top
Are
of
we
the
top of
round.
the round?
Yeah.
All right.
So the puppeteer will go after this.
Okay. I'm gonna just try and take out some more of the hollow real quick.
Okay. You can attack everyone in the room at once.
Okay. So I'm gonna do. I can only do 9 though,
Okay.
which kind of sucks.
That will take out 1 wound off the hollow and not affect the puppet master.
All right. Well, that's all I got.
All right. Puppet master goes next, and he's gonna pop you for another wound, Mac. But you find that being dead, you're not affected by his holographic trickery, so
Yeah.
you still know what's going on. Who's next?
I mean, I might as well
Sure.
go ahead and hit him with what I have. So let's see. That's 8. I can do 19. Can I still burn sparks to get that to 20?
God, if you want to. And one for the, so that's, yep, okay. You and this is the puppet master. All right, you destroy every vestige of his physical body, but there's still that one remaining hollow, so he just jumps to that. But it's wounded.
Yeah.
It's-
There's one left then, so.
Running out of places to jump. Hey.
That's your assumption.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Who wants it? It was top. Oh, you did.
Oh, and no, it's the hollow is next, but no, sorry, there is no hollow left because he took the last one.
Okay.
So you still have another round before he attacks.
Who wants it?
Guess I'll go for it. Let's see.
A ton better.
I'm already dead.
That's true.
You're a lot better compared to dead.
All right, I guess I'm gonna just like grab the mask and try to just like blast fire into it and just like
Do it.
I don't know, crack it. So I get 2 intellect, but I've only got. Can't turn grace into intellect.
Can't you?
I can do anything into grace.
Oh, okay.
So, let's throw in pyromancer, and I'm gonna burn a spark to make it 4. And so that's not. Can I get the 4 on top of the 1 for the card?
Yeah, sure. That's
Okay,
10.
That's 10.
And do you want to pass pain on to him?
If it's an successful attack, I can.
Which it is.
So I do. Oh, good. Okay, then yes. 1 spark per wound. So, God. Yeah.
Now you can burn your last spark, and I'll give him the rest of your wounds because you're going out and doing so.
So it's So that leaves you in an attendant spirit, right? When you're
No, if you burn your last spark, you're dead.
Oh.
But and ironically, you would leave a beautiful corpse because you basically restore your body by putting your wounds on him, and then your corpse instantly incinerates, which is a little bit of an insult, really. You're like, yeah, I don't even need to do this. Boom. But yeah, if you want to throw your wounds on him, you can. Otherwise, this isn't going to take him out.
God, all right, I'll die, but I won't take your deal. Ah. All right.
The body incinerates, as does Idalia. And I'll say, like, you know, it is quiet in the room for a little while. A short time later, basically, like, whatever remaining animate force you have left just runs out from time.
At dawn, basically, I drop.
Yeah. But the... like, after a second of silence, like, the sort of, like a ghostly version of the mask appears in the room. Says, "Oh, it's not that easy. You could have taken my deal. In fact, you still can. I'll be here whenever any of you need me to be. I'll be here and then." And it, like, winks.
I hate it.
I love it. It's the best thing.
Sexy.
A few days later, you know, like, everything goes back to normal. Like, with all of the remaining hosts, which are too far away for them to jump into, are released. Many of them actually return to life because they haven't been held long enough. That it has a very a surprisingly immediate effect. Like the crime syndicate being disbanded actually sort of makes life a lot better for the members of the town. And a few days later, whatever magic is holding you in this reality sort of ceases to exist, and it's already been dawn, so you've already dropped. And then, like, a few days later, you just both sort of, you know, feel it coming, and you get somewhere away from people and sort of incinerate.
Oh boy.
And you all come out of the fire at the same time, weirdly, even though you guys both go through a crucible and you both don't. Like, the magics that sent you back brings you back out all at once. And they're there, and they sort of, you know, they want a debriefing, which they get. And
They're there.
A lot of talking for you.
And then, you know, so we're going to level you both up here at the table before you go. But that said, you...
No, but I did attack Ink once pretty bad.
Oh, yeah, they get a debriefing, and there's a little bit of question about that, but eventually you explain that... eventually you explain that, like, you were, you know, possessed by it or whatever. So they leave you alone for a little bit. And then, in a strange sort of, like, unusual side effect of your journey, which will now occur randomly, although it could have before, but no one paid for it until now, all the, like, thousands of years of torment and torture slip away, and without even knowing it, like, their sort of backs are to you, like, you're just looking out on the city, you turn around, and you're basically the, like, untainted version of yourself from before your death. So let's meet him. This is your Eye of the Storm. So have a little role play with the non-terribly creepy Eerie.
I don't know. I think this is creepier than regular Eerie.
You would.
Do I?
Sorry.
But do I still remember everything?
Well, yeah, you know what happened, but for some reason it doesn't bother you. And also, you return to manifesting as, like, a child as opposed to a. You still have all of your abilities and powers, but you now look like, you know, you could be skipping here. Your clothes are clean.
Who are you?
Eerie?
Oh my.
I don't like this. What?
You're not the only one.
I wanna go home.
I don't know if you can anymore.
Can I give you that hug now?
You're so shiny.
You're still not into it? Okay.
If you hug her all in the city.
And you're so dark, and I kind of get your thing. Why does this happen to me? Why? Why do I have to
okay,
keep going?
don't be crying.
And after a while, it passes, and sort of like a bad scene from The Ring, you just see the kid kind of like creep up again.
We'll always remember you as you were. You're still with us in your hearts.
Yeah, and my nightmares will be him like not like this.
Don't worry.
So next week, you guys will be on another sort of mission, but with a guest DM, perhaps the great Keith Baker himself, but perhaps another one. But meanwhile, we need to level the both of you up right here at the table. So
Yeah.
let's talk ourselves through this conversation.
Neither of us will actually be here next week.
Oh yeah,
Right.
which is good. So we won't over level that table either.
Yeah.
So you get to pick one of your rank 5. That was a bitter death because you were killed by a teammate.
Yeah, that seems about as bitter as it gets.
So here are your 2 options. Why don't you tell the chat what they are?
Okay, I have a new combat style I could choose from. Hand of Mourning, and that's mourning like sad, not mourning like the sun is here. It gives me attack will be 2 cards. See below. Defense 2 cards. Special, your hand size and the number of cards you can play in an attack spread is increased by 1 for each of your wingmates who are dead.
Jesus.
So if you guys are dead, I can do more things.
Don't care for that combat
Sorry,
style.
those are 2-siders too, I think.
Oh,
Which means they either flip or they have 2 options.
Good grief.
I guess 2 options. Oh, they both have Hand of Mourning on one side.
Oh
which-
wait, did I give you 2 of the same? That might have actually happened.
Yeah, they're the same
Sorry.
card.
1 second. Oh, you know what? There might actually only be 1 option at 5, and you just pick which side of it you want, and you can flip it whenever you die.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Okay, because the other side is, ironically, Vampiric Thirst. When you draw an affliction, choose another member of your wing to suffer 1 wound, then commit 1 spark to Vampiric Thirst. Whenever you count how many wounds you have, add a bonus equal to the number of sparks of Vampiric Thirst, or recover the sparks at dawn or when you die. That's really confusing.
Essentially, you place sparks onto it in place of wounds. Whenever you pull an affliction, which some of your powers count as afflictions, or some of your, like for example, some of these traits count as an affliction, you put a spark on that in reserve, and then it counts as a wound towards all of your wound targeting effects, which means you just get stronger.
Although it says member of your wing to suffer 1 wound.
Oh, you got to make one of them take you bite them to get the strength.
That's pretty fucked up. Okay, I guess.
Well, you got to pick
Well, they're
one
the
side.
same.
Yeah. So which side are you going to start with?
I guess I'll go ahead with Hand of Mourning. So if you guys are really dead, it like lets me do more shit, I suppose. Because I think making you guys take wounds is pretty fucked up. And I think Vampiric Thirst kind of goes against the nature of who Varya is. So I think I'm going to go with Hand of Mourning. So you guys die, I do more shit.
Well, you get to pick a new trait, either Siphon Strength or Feed on Fear.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
All right. Siphon Strength. All of your wingmates must burn 1 spark when you use Siphon Strength in a spread. Add 3 to its value for each spark burn. Counts as an affliction for triggering effects. These are awesome but awful at the same time.
Well, you are a bitter. You're not like,
Yeah.
this isn't like shiny, happy people cards.
Yeah. Feed on Fear. Draw 1 card when you use this card in a spread. When you use Feed on Fear in an attack spread, your target is exposed and you learn 1 thing they are afraid of.
Jeez.
Choose 1 member of the wing. They must either burn 1 spark or reveal a new and deeper fear. So it's like truth or dare. I'm going to go with Feed on Fear.
Of course
that's
you
a
are.
little bit more.
That's amazing.
All right.
More
So
on-
what kind of death do you think you had, Idalia?
Looking at this, I think the closest one is maybe
Jesus.
Forceful, isn't fast enough, or can't overcome an obstacle.
Okay.
Because I really wanted to get this guy, and
I would have let you. Just to sort of disclose,
Like, yeah,
he couldn't travel with one of you to your crucible. So if you had allowed him to make a bargain with you, like if you had taken him in and then burned out, it would have fully killed him.
Oops.
But you also would have taken there's a specific trait from the puppeteer that would have been traveling with you. Like he has the
We're
one
not
from.
perfect
Yeah.
if you hadn't noticed. We're
kinda-
a little flawed.
Yeah.
it's cool.
I kind of thought that might have been it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't have, as Eerie, have done that.
I wanted to give you the option, but also once you guys decided to sort of like let him live, I was like, okay, good. Then he's still around somewhere. He's not. But in case you were wondering, by the way, you can check. He doesn't come back to town like once you leave. Like in the months that transpire when you jump forward back in time or return to your normal time, he has not returned. He or she. So the puppeteer is definitely still out there. And I will say that basically at any time, if you want to, you can invoke the puppeteer's bargain. Like you can make a deal with the puppeteer. He always has his eyes on you, and whatever you want to trade for something, he probably has an answer. Neat. So you have a fallen watching you.
I kind of wish I did it because I was so desperate when I was just like, "What do you want?" That it would have been like kind of fun. So I feel like Forceful is probably the closest. Is that sound right? I don't know.
So did you take perfect reflexes? No. What did you take for your 4?
Evolving defense.
Okay. So I'll give you these 3 to choose from.
Okay. So I've got 3 talents. Rolling Stone. Add 2 to the value of the second attack spread you make in a turn. Add 4 to the value of the third attack spread and any subsequent attack spreads you make in a turn, which is pretty handy for Idalia. Talent Perfect Reflexes. At the start of combat, you may take 1 free turn before the cycle begins. During combat, another player can allow you to take their turn, allowing you to act more than once per cycle. I'm not the best in combat, so I think that is maybe
the other one sounded a lot better.
The weird advantage of that, though, is because you can act first and also take someone's action, is you can be doing your healing magics on those actions. They don't have to be attacks.
Yeah, and sometimes that is the difference between life or death for us, is if you get to have an extra chance to heal us.
Yeah.
So think about that. But there's other options.
Okay, because I feel like it hasn't come up enough to be as useful as, say, another one, maybe.
Yeah, because you and I only have 2 deaths left.
Oh my god. Okay.
Just saying.
How about that? Damn. Okay, Arrow's Flight. When you play 3 or more cards of the same value in an attack spread, or a skill spread associated with acrobatics or athletics, you may burn 2 sparks and double the combined value of those cards. I'm going to go with the first one.
I think that's 2-sided, by the way. Sorry.
Oh, nuts it is. Okay. Harrying Shrike. That's a combat style. I never have strength cards, but that's strength.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I maybe would.
No, you won't, because you won't. So don't take that one.
All right. Nope. So we're going with
this card displeases me.
Do not want.
She's in her golden goddess mode right
now. You do not amuse me.
Bring me another.
Rolling Stone is what we're going with then.
All right. Well.
Cheers, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Whoopsie.
Let me find you your trait.
Okay.
And both of you are going to have more sparks when you come back. And I believe you can also remove a card if you so choose. So you can remove I think you can, at this rank, you can remove a 2 if you want to thin out your deck.
Okay.
Remove a 2?
Yeah. You can remove whatever you want, but you should probably remove a 2.
Probably.
Okay, so here are your 2 rank 5 options. Ooh, one of them's a 2.
Hey. Oh man, a 2 trait. A 2 trait. I didn't know they existed. Nice. All right.
Heard of it in song and myth.
Yeah.
Here, you can have that.
Thank you.
Because it doesn't always do me so much good.
What do you think?
Okay, so one of them is a 10-handed strike. When you use this card in a spread, draw 1 card. If you have 5 or more cards in your hand, you may burn 4 sparks and discard your hand to make an attack spread with a value of 20.
Yeah.
That's nice. Let's hear out the
Can we
other
do
ones.
like a slow song for that?
That would feel great. That would be really Absolute Precision. When you use this card in a spread, you may burn, and this is a 2 trait though. When you use this card in a spread, you may burn 2 sparks to ignore the normal limit on the number of cards you play in that spread. But since I don't always have cards that I'm that happy with, let's go with the first one that got the nice slow clap. So, all right.
Huzzah!
Yeah, they're coming back at rank 5, Braid, because they were at rank 4 last time.
Man.
So we got 2 more deaths ahead of us for Idalia and I.
Wow.
And well, I don't know. With these boys being in the next game and you not, they could catch up with you before you know it.
That's very true.
Yeah, and the next game also contains, probably in many incarnations, it will be Beans and Kelvin. And unless Kelvin has someplace to go, he has a reason to stay alive.
Someday Beans and I will cross paths.
Eventually, and Beans will tell you the stories.
Neither.
So, yeah, this is Phoenix Dawn Command. Great game, everybody. I wanted to play with something a little bit different than we did last time, which was kind of fun. I hope you were not too weirded out by the puppeteer.
No, that was
great.
No, it was
awesome.
great. Yeah, no.
I like the creepier the better.
Yeah, that was
well,
fantastic.
that's fine. That will happen. And he's still around, so don't think you're getting out of this season without him. If any of you at home are Patreon backers, we still need to have a Patreon chat with Keith Baker to design the wing that is the rival wing that the Patreon backers will design entirely together. That's 6 Phoenixes. And all of you chat regulars, you know that you are part of the other wing that contains, the only member of that wing that is not a regular chat appearer is Feral, and the rest of those are all. In fact, we also have some extra wingmates there on the on Braid. On Fade and whatever her name is wing, so we can just fill those out too if we want. It's a reference to an actor.
Yeah,
God damn it.
Name too. She was
it's-
vaguely Irish, if I
She was
recall.
very Irish, yes.
Yeah, she was Irish.
Yes.
It's a bold move when an actual Brit's at the table.
Although caterers seem to get a kick
Yeah,
out of it.
a good time. All right, so plugs and/or suggestions, and then we'll get everyone out of this place.
I actually have one ready to go.
Go.
For a change, yes. Go to YouTube, check out Ismahawk. That is ISMAHAWK. There are a couple of independent filmmakers that do really great minute matchups, they call. So it's like the Flash versus Quicksilver, Hawkeye versus Green Arrow. But on the 12th, which I think is Wednesday, they have one coming out that is Voltron versus the Power Rangers Megazord. And there's a trailer out right now that looks fucking fantastic. So that's my pitch.
Okay.
Nice. Just because we're all IT Crowd fans and we brought that up, I just found out from my friend and watched it last night. On Netflix right now is this thing called the IT Crowd Manual.
Oh, that's on my queue.
Yes.
Yes.
Watch it. So it's like just a little mini documentary that I don't know. It's kind of out of the blue. BBC is so weird about the way they time everything that they do. But yeah, that's out there. So if you need a little bit more of an IT Crowd fix, it's around and it's pretty fun to watch. So.
Any of y'all seen Shin Godzilla yet?
No.
Not yet.
I'm looking forward to that. I think that's in a couple days.
I think it's
comes
going to
out.
be fun, though.
Yeah. I had a couple
Still the largest Godzilla ever now? Like they keep making bigger movie by movie. I think he's.
I mean, it's a Japanese film, so who knows? But yeah, looking forward to it. It's only going to be there for a week run, so go ahead and see that.
Okay.
I have a not recommendation, actually. We finally went and saw Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. You know how sometimes filmmakers do homages to other filmmakers? It kind of felt like Tim Burton was doing an homage to his own film style. It had all of the building blocks there to be another Tim Burton classic, but it lacked the heart that the others did. So if you're thinking about seeing it, I would wait until it comes out on Netflix or one of the other streaming sites to see it. It really wasn't worth the theater time.
The guy in NPR said about the same thing, pretty
Yeah,
much.
it had all the moments there, and it was so close. It was like on the precipice of like having moments, and then just couldn't stick the landing. It tried so hard. Although, I have to admit, Eva Green as Miss Peregrine, cosplay goals.
Yeah, after Penny Dreadful went under, I was really looking forward to that movie.
Yeah, and
See more
she's
of it.
good, but it felt like all of the actors, even though they had some really heavy hitters in it, did not have enough to work with, or what they had got cut. It didn't have the heart to it that like an Edward Scissorhands had, or even an more action-oriented movie like a Sleepy Hollow. It didn't have that warmth to it, and so it came off as feeling like a very hollow homage to his own work.
I think if I was a character like in a bad sitcom, I would be the guy who always had like written predictions in envelopes and like presented them. Because I always feel like I want to do that. Like I could have given you the prediction that's like that movie will suck because it really everything about the trailers for me was like red flaggy.
His last several have had the same problem. It was the same problem with Dark Shadows and Big Eyes, even, which was not highly publicized as being his. Again, it felt hollow. I think one of the last really great ones he did was Big Fish, which again, a lot of people didn't realize he did because they were a little more quiet about that being his.
I think they don't want people to think there's going to be white and black stripes everywhere. So
Yeah. And even like Charlie and Chocolate Factory, not a great movie, was fun and entertaining. Miss Peregrine was like a little rough, although better than the Alice in Wonderland movie. That first one was terrible because it was like, I'm going to do my own thing, and then it was, I'm going to be my own person. And she goes to Wonderland, and they go, "You're this destined person to do this thing." She goes, "Okay, I'm this person now." And it's just like that complete. Like they had a message, and then they're like scribbled it out halfway through the movie.
Well, all right. I'm going to make.
So boring.
Can we get Borat?
Disappointed.
I'm going to get two quick ones for you. One, well, generally speaking, I have a show on Geek and Sundry that is on Thursdays at 5 o'clock from 5 to 6. It is called Dick and Johnson, and it is two rednecks who drink beer and kick ass, and I think in the next episode are going to Mars to save Britney Spears, because that's the show it is. I'm actually not DMing that one, but please give it your patronage anyway. It's a great show. I loved it. It's a great system, and Keller and Hector are fantastic players. Well worth your time. Also, if you're in LA, and that's why this is a very specific one, this Friday at midnight, so the upcoming Friday at midnight, my favorite movie of all time, which is also the sequel no one asked for, From Dusk Till Dawn 3. Oh. I absolutely love that film, and it is playing on the big screen in Los Angeles. I know the director and a bunch of other people who were involved with the film are going to be there at the New Beverly Cinema. It's a great place. I mean, it was, which makes sense because Tarantino owns it and sort of co-produced it. But From Dusk Till Dawn 3, it is basically the From Dusk Till Dawn vampire mythos, but set against cowboys. So good. Ooh. Definitely one of my favorite. Some great performances by Rebecca Gayheart, which is the only time that sentence ever been said. Really worth it. Also, Michael Park's best performance, who played like the old sheriff in everything, plays Ambrose Bierce in this, and it's so good. Anyway, what's that?
They named him Ambrose.
He is Ambrose Bierce.
What?
Because the poet disappears in real life, so they suggest that he traveled to Mexico and fought vampires. That's a good way out. If I disappeared, if I ever disappear, please invent a story in which I ended up going out fighting vampires in Mexico or a place of your choosing. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Keep watching everything here on Saving Throw. The mods can link you to the various calendars and schedules, all kinds of great stuff. Mac's new show on Wednesdays, and support the Kickstarter for. I always get it wrong. Mike, you know this.
Illimat?
No, but do support Illimat.
Yeah.
Rotharan.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
West Otis's game, yes.
Yes, which I'm sure they can link you in the chat room as well. Bye, everybody.
I feel like that's when we do a close. So
All right.
Anyway, yeah.
We gotta go. See ya. All right, let's click you to.